Crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover.
It just crossed him over. Nestled another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
It is time for the crossover. It is brought to you by Everlow Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlowconcrete.com. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back from Kansas.
Hi. Thank you.
I saw you the other night.
Yes. How was the soccer?
You know what? It was good. It was good. I hadn't called
a nice
soccer.
crowd.
Yes. I had not called a soccer game in over 25 years. And so did back-to-back soccer days at Creighton.
Let's go.
Yeah. They shut out Oral Roberts, and then the women yesterday shut out South Dakota. It was fun.
Awesome. I was there on Saturday night. I went to the game with my wife.
It was a great crowd. Yep. Beautiful night.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Homecoming.
Yeah. The homecoming king and queen were announced. Well, the queen's name was Macklin. I was like, Macklin, what a name.
I haven't heard that since Jeremy Macklin.
I know, but that was her first name.
I kind of like that name for a girl.
Yeah, Macklin.
I might have to have a kid.
Can you keep saying
There you go.
Macklin.
Burt Macklin, FBI.
Dude,
that's what I was thinking.
Can you imagine if Gus Johnson could say a dude's first name, Macklin?
Macklin.
Why was Notre Dame Texas A&M not on Fox?
Bo Richter!
Instead of Noah Eagle pronouncing the unknown tight end's name correctly.
I know, unbelievable. These announcers these days, they're so prepped. They're so ready to go. Be more like Gus.
Yeah.
Don't do anything.
Yeah, you guys, you nerds, and all your prep.
It's Bo Richter.
Like, also the disrespect towards him by national media. This unknown tight end caught a touchdown pass.
Yeah, just a little kid from Aurora.
I read
Took a couple NIL payments, got him there.
I read a article. He's like, a blocking tight end caught it out of anybody who could call it. This walk-on blocking tight end. I'm like, they portraiture.
But I think half their tight end room is from Nebraska.
Yeah, because they have Micah Riley, don't they? Yeah.
That's funny. There's a lot of tight ends out of the state, just in general.
We produce big, beefy men.
But we don't get them super beefy. We get them super athletic.
Yeah.
But what if one tight end is a bust who was highly recruited?
That would suck.
We have a Carter Nelson problem.
Oh, man. I thought you were talking about Fedoni.
No. That already happened.
He's from Iowa.
Yeah, he's from Iowa.
Okay.
He's from Iowa. And did he play yesterday for the Giants? They were throwing it to this other Theo Johnson, this other tight end all game.
I don't think so.
That was an awesome game. That was so sick.
I know Carter Nelson is like still getting his feet under him coming back from surgery. Man, it's not really explosive.
How many snaps did he have?
Oh, let's check the snap counts.
He didn't play a ton again.
Sorry, I don't have. I gotta get my PFF bookmark up.
26.
All right.
I mean, he's played more, but like I expected him to play a lot more in that game, and he just did.
He just didn't. Sometimes you just don't.
Thank you.
You know?
Oh my God, I'm with two ball knowers.
Yeah, Gary keeps making fun of me about like, I can't wait to hear you as a color analyst.
Oh my goodness!
High school football.
How was it? I talked to Schreiner a lot over the last 2 days.
Wait, why did you adjust your seat and get?
Because I want to know what you thought
Yeah,
about a variety of different things.
What's it like when two teams and only one of them shows up to play?
Okay, Josh.
Hey, Central showed up for the first half.
I'm sorry, it's Class A football in Nebraska. I assumed it was 70-0.
Whoa! Not every game is like that. Some are 50-21.
It was kind of cool.
Got a real problem
to
in this
announce a
state.
game where there was like Torrey Pittman was like going to Nebraska and Darian Jones was like going to Iowa and everything. Like to have that, like that was kind of dope, and how people like talk about him was cool. That stadium's awesome. That's a really, really nice stadium.
Thank you.
The view of what did you build it?
Well, no.
Okay, then why am I thinking it?
I played a couple games there.
It was built on his blood, sweat, and
couple?
tears.
Yeah, I almost had a sack one time in that stadium.
They could have used you. I mean, they were getting beat up front. The view from like on top of the press box, like through to see the chai and everything, was pretty dope. That Mutual of Omaha building needs to get done because that crane looks ugly.
We were I was down the hill and I could hear the music reverberating. Just sends it straight downtown. Sounded great.
It was fun.
What did you think about the central north of it all?
Oh, like the rivalry of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was.
That's an interesting way to go about that question.
The passion.
That game has some history.
No, I'm aware. I was told said history.
Okay.
Heat.
I was told that some people were going to work wearing like purple polos, because they were trying to because it was a big day. It was like a
Why wouldn't you?
Because I mean they needed to win that game and they didn't.
They did not.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't
What you're
really.
searching for, it was a really quiet night.
It was a very quiet night.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
There wasn't a whole lot going on. There wasn't a lot of trash talk and anything like that. I mean, when you get beat by 30 points, I don't think you really have a leg to stand on.
Well, you never know. You never know.
Walking on the field before kick was cool. It was cool. I mean, I like announcing, so it was fun announcing.
Let's go. We all love announcing.
Yeah, that was enjoyable.
We all love announcing. We are announcers, I guess.
Jerron Cannon, he's a
What do you
wagon.
run for, like 1,000 yards?
What was it, Gary? 297, 312.
Not bad.
He had 388.
3/4 of a Melvin Gordon.
He's got 700 yards in 4 games played.
It's not
So,
bad.
Yeah, or three games played. 3 games played.
It's not bad. Josh loves announcing or being around announcers. Mike writes in on YouTube. He says, Josh, that was a wild game. And Hutch, listen to the whole broadcast. Did you watch broadcast cam?
Booth cam?
Booth cam?
Hey, but have you heard the controversy?
No. What happened?
So a lot of the television crew that I'm with on Thursday and Friday were also the television crew on Saturday and Sunday. So it was great to see. I was used to all those guys. So few of them are heavily invested in Iowa Western or graduates of Iowa Western. So I got the whole lowdown on Saturday night about how that game ended, especially the last drive, the game-winning touchdown, the personal foul, and all that kind of stuff. But then I've been alerted to we have controversy this upcoming weekend.
Involving
Going to Dodge City.
Yes, I am going to Dodge City.
They are not allowing the booth cam.
Unbelievable.
They're not allowing the booth cam?
There is no video that they have allowed.
Yeah, they're not allowing us to stream. So we were going to do booth cam. They're not allowing our booth cam now?
Apparently they're not allowing the booth cam.
Huh. Josh is just finding out
This
about
is
this
news
now.
to me.
Wow, I'm just
But-
learning
but
about this
I will
now.
say this.
What
Like,
are
you
they going
guys-
to do?
What a
You-
wonderful life.
Hey,
You what can you
guys
say?
pull off a 4-man booth pretty good.
Travis says the booth cam is allowed. Travis would
Okay.
know.
Ugh.
So booth cam, we're good.
Yeah, I knew they weren't allowing us to shoot video for
Which is ridiculous.
some reason.
Hey, but you guys pull off the 4-man booth really well.
Yeah, we all
That
we
sounds
all
like
have
a
our
pickup
lanes.
It sounds like a basketball drill that you would run, in high school.
Hey,
4-man
We're
wheel.
gonna run. We're gonna run the
It's
4-man
kind of
booth.
fun because we all know all 4 guys that are in there. It's entertaining broadcast.
Speaking
But
of
Jake gets pissed.
He does.
yeah, Jake does get triggered.
He's so passionate.
That's great.
He is. He's a passionate man. Speaking of booths, do we need to talk about our friend and his math?
Oh,
He's doing.
so I know he's listening now.
Hi, David.
I think he got bored on Saturday.
Oh,
In the fourth quarter?
What'd he do?
He does this thing where it's like,
When they score, when Nebraska
number
scores
15 scores a touchdown.
Yeah.
1 + 5 equals give me all 6 of them or something like that. It's a
Okay.
great bit.
Okay.
And then he was like trying to figure it out because 14 threw it to 19.
Yes, it was the Lateef Mills 62-yard touchdown pass.
33.
But no, it wasn't. It was like 1 minus. I'm like, all right, I'm trying to follow along. I think that's
Yes.
I think that's -8.
Was Damon doing Steiner math on the radio? That's great. That's incredible. Him and Kyle sounded really good together when I was listening to the game because I was cutting a little close. I got here with only 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter for Big Red overreaction. Just time kind of flew by. It just went over my head. I had to pick up my Jimmy John sandwich.
Of course, it's
Yeah.
a
Sure.
great game day meal.
Yeah, it's right here on 40th. So it's like I pass, I come in, get the Jimmy Johns, and all of a sudden he was like, Kyle's like, "There's 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter," and I was like, "Oh, might be late." But I got
Yeah,
here in time. They sounded good together though.
Running clock.
I think we got bored in the fourth quarter,
That's okay.
but the math was funny.
Lose a little
because
focus.
There was the awkward, there was a pause, and instead of just moving on to the next play, I can imagine that Ben and Kyle looked at each other and like,
What are they doing?
and so he called him out on it, and we had to go back and explain. Okay, the guy that's got his teacher degree sitting there going, "Oh yeah. It was funny. It was in that game. It was a perfect moment because that made it 59-7.
Yeah, it was just the spring game.
Yes,
It was great.
it was.
Yeah.
Hey, did I hear Sam either in his stand-up or in a column called it a spring game.
Somebody said that, and
Oh,
I agree
no.
completely. It was.
It was. It was.
Yeah.
It was a rough watch. Not from the way that Nebraska played, but there was, it was 11 a.m. It was hot. It was friggin' hot. The stands weren't packed, and it was clear from the jump that Houston Christian did not have the dudes.
Not gonna have it. Not gonna be your day. Sorry. That one guy broke off the nice run was good.
Now,
He'll be at an FBS school
he
next
is
year.
a guy that I like. You could
Edwards?
see him playing at like a group of 5 and being really good.
Yeah.
But they don't have. You would look to their sidelines, like when they had their kickoff,
Zyshawn Edwards.
when they had their kickoff return team out there. So you got 11 guys out on the field. Like their sidelines, there were very few guys.
I know that I always noticed that too. Akron had the same thing. I was like, are you guys traveling like 4 people in this game? But that's how it always is with the lower level Power 5s and the FCS teams.
I would just also this weekend like to see visiting fans. There were like hardly any Akron fans. There were hardly any Houston Christian fans. There were more people there following Utah, not Utah volleyball, but Grand Canyon volleyball. No, it was Utah. Utah volleyball that played in the Nebraska tournament this weekend.
yeah.
Like at the Graduate Hotel.
They're like, let's go to the game.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
were a ton of like Utah like parents and volleyball fans.
Good call.
I never saw a Houston Christian fan.
That's crazy.
Good
But
call.
but this weekend, the Michigan fans, will they show up?
Yeah. Yeah. They're
Oh,
always here.
because the first time they came
yeah.
when Nebraska got in the Big Ten, there were a ton of Michigan fans.
Oh yeah.
Like in 23, there weren't as many.
They will be here.
Well,
Because they have the one corner in Southwest, and then all the way up in the Northeast, in the way back
where they
top.
stand out.
Yeah.
They're like sitting ducks up there.
Also, Luan has done a really good job of being like, this is like the best place to go for an away game, like hyping up Memorial Stadium in Nebraska as an away fan experience.
It is.
so
I remember
much.
talking to some Michigan fans the last time they were here. They were like, "This is the one that we wanted to go to."
Yeah,
on the road.
and I think Taylor, I think the last time Taylor came here, he went on the pod and was like, there is no greater place as an away fan to go than Memorial. So I think there might be, because of that, because he's got some power, you might get a couple more Michigan fans maybe than usual because of that.
It's a
How
helmet
cool,
game.
how cool if you're a Michigan fan, in the span of a month, you've gone to Norman and Lincoln, and you don't even play in the Big 8 or Big 12.
Awesome. I know. It's almost like they are in the Big 8.
Well, if you're a big Biff Poggi fan,
How can you not?
this is the game to go to.
Well, I was a little disappointed he had
also thinking
sleeves
ones.
on for Central Michigan.
I know.
I was kind of hoping he'd go sleeveless, but maybe, you got to be a Michigan man. So apparently Michigan men can't be sleeveless.
They also, after their bye week and after they play Wisconsin, they also go to USC.
I know.
Wow.
What a
They
great
play in
road schedule.
3, like historic
And then they
college
go to
football
and
stadiums.
then they go to Wrigley later in the
Yes.
year.
Oh,
They
wow.
play at Wrigley this year?
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I haven't
That's a
been
great road slate.
I have
Yeah.
not been to a football game in Wrigley. What I do know though is that it's taken them a while, but they finally figured it out, which is kind of funny because the Bears started playing in Wrigley Field and somehow they just totally forgot how
Yeah.
the dimensions work.
After that first game when there was no end zone.
Yes.
Yeah, they figured it out
They
after
had
that.
to play one way
Yeah, that was
at
great.
Wrigley, which was crazy.
Excellent time. Excellent.
It's like
time.
you guys do know that the Chicago Bears basically started here. They couldn't go back and look at like the film and be like, all right, this is how you have to put the field.
Well, it's very different now,
No, the field hasn't changed one bit.
That's very different.
No, it's not. It's the exact same field, the exact same dimensions. They haven't touched that park one iota. The concourse is different. You can
the
get tacos
guts.
now. It's not just sausages and sausages.
I
at
don't think they
Wrigley
went
Field.
back and watched the tape from the early Bears games.
You
We're like,
al-
how do we do this?
You always got to go back and watch the tape.
That's true.
Always.
That makes sense for you to say that.
Always go back and watch the tape.
Always go back
Did
and
you go
watch
back
it.
and watch the tape of the North Central game to get you ready for Millard South, Millard North?
No, I did watch the Darian
Oh,
Jones
no.
highlights and huddle film.
What?
Those poor Mustangs.
Yeah, they're 0-3. And now they got to play Millard South.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm playing. Yeah, we're announcing that game.
Get
okay.
get your film material ready.
You have a running clock.
Yeah, it'll be
We're out of
fun.
there in 2.
Yeah, well, it took us 3 hours to get out of the Central North game. That
That
took
makes sense.
forever.
That makes sense.
Clock operator.
Where'd they have you park?
I just parked.
Just park.
Yeah, I just got there at 5 and there was an open parking spot.
Okay.
I just parked.
Good.
Now-
Parking's limited.
Hey, I didn't go to Central, but I've done many games at Seaman and gone to basketball.
Mhm.
Where do students park?
So the staff lot is the only parking lot right there outside of the stadium.
Okay.
That's all staff. And then it's basically like a free for all. If you want to
For
park
students?
if you want to park on like if you can get a spot on the side on Davenport there as you're coming
Yeah.
up, like you're in good shape. Otherwise, There is like a senior lot underneath the overpass down there.
Yeah.
I never used that because you had to pay money to do it. And then some people would go all the way to Cass and park, which is like a block and a half away on the other side there of 480. So you'd walk up the other side. But I always got there early enough where I could just park at Davenport. Which was great. It's tough.
Oh, I almost went the wrong way on a one-way when I was pulling out of the lot, and a very nice man goes, "That's a one-way, brother." And I'm like, "Oh," and I turn, and he goes, "Attaboy!" And I'm,
Oh, wow, okay.
And I'm like, and I like my tire went like over a curb, and like I got back around, and then I turned left. And, I don't know what street that is, but it led to Dodge. But yeah,
It was probably 20th.
I was heading down the one way, and he was like, "No, don't do it."
Good job.
I know.
People are looking out for you.
If Bud Crawford does not lead the tunnel walk out, will people be disappointed?
Yes.
Yeah, I think.
What if they gave because he's got 9 belts now because boxing is stupid. What if he just gives each like one player a belt? You know, that'd be cool. They all just run out with each belt.
Oh,
that'd be dope.
Okay. Single digit number guys all get belts.
All get belts. Yeah, because single digit number guys matter so much.
That'd be good.
If you have a single digit,
Come get your belt.
and the black shirts are sitting there being like, "What do you mean? If you got a single, I'm a black shirt. What do you mean you're not giving me this?"
You know what? This is going to be my goal.
Why's number 5?
I need to like, where do they keep the belts? Like, does Bud have them just like in the,
I think
out on display in the man
I
cave?
assume he's got him in
Does
his.
he just walk into the house
in his-
yesterday and he
in
just
his,
throws them on the table?
in his training area, in his
So
his
he
gym.
had, so he did
Another
over at
Amazon package
so he did
came,
over at-
bud. Is
that's
it a
good
belt?
point. At B&B, he had a couple of them displayed, but he's got a lot now.
Yeah.
Got to keep him at the house. Like somebody stops by and he goes, "Hey, look at what I got."
Belts.
goes back into his room, comes back out with it. Look at this thing.
It has to be a hassle at some point, right? Like,
Well, didn't you think about TSA? Like, how are they going to get those through TSA Sunday morning in
Well,
Vegas?
I don't
he
think
gave them back to Canelo.
you
You
ch-
have to give them back.
you
get to
check
keep
'em,
your
What do you mean you
belts.
give them back?
You give
Like they
them
have
back.
to, they
Yeah.
engrave it. They take the guy's name off of it.
They
They put a
got
new.
no.
they got boxes.
No,
they got carrying
got-
cases for him.
guys, the WBC, despite what you might think, has plenty of money still. They can make new belts. You give the belts back to Canelo. Canelo keeps his belts. They give new belts to Bud. These are
No,
the
isn't
official
this like
belts.
wrestling?
It's
Like once
not-
you lose a belt, you
Hey,
don't get to keep it.
We're not in Jim Crockett territories, Gary. All right, you're not just laying the belt back on the table at your kitchen counter and being like, "All right, I got to go to Texas and defend it." Like, no, everybody gets their prize. Everybody gets to hang them up on the mantle.
they got Saudi money now.
Yeah, everybody's got Saudi money.
That
now.
is
Mr.
so
Beast
awkward.
money.
That's
Mr. Beast
another
money.
fight with Bud that the prince is there. That's so awkward.
He got booed.
Hey, what a night!
did.
What a nightmare blunt rotation. Mr. Beast,
Dear
Jason
God.
Statham, Your Excellency, and Dana White. That is the worst blunt rotation of all time.
Wow.
Hey,
Weed
so I
boy
saw your
over
tweet
here.
about Dana White. I think the television angle, it looked like he was always looking down because I think
Oh.
that would be a bad seat.
So he
The front
it's a-
row.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's got a monitor. I had to explain this to people who I was with a bunch of casuals. And
Roll your eyes.
they were, yeah, I mean, it's a little annoying when people who don't know about boxing try telling you like what Bud should do. And I'm like, just all right, cool, man. Anyway,
Just knock him out.
yeah, they're like, why doesn't he throw the hook?
Nighty
maybe-
night.
Yeah. So dumb. But anyway, they're like, why is it Dana's sitting front row? He's not even watching the match. And it's just like Dana is known at the UFC. He watches it all on the monitor. Like all of the UFC events that he goes to, he's got a little monitor. It's Dana's monitor, and he's watching it. Like that's just what he does. He prefers to watch it on a monitor as opposed to in
Well,
person.
instead of 5 feet in front of his face.
Yeah, well, because he says that he gets better angles.
That's
you
true.
know from
That's-
the
You
monitor.
got both.
He can-
different. Yeah,
because
It's like a broadcaster.
Yeah.
You know, you
and
watch on the
Dana-
monitor, you watch it with your eyes.
Dana essentially scores the matches too. Like, and so he's not afraid to go.
In case he's got to step in.
Well, no, because he'll go on the microphone and be like, "I had it scored this way. It was absolute BS that these judges like gave the fight to this guy." You know,
Well, it was almost a disaster.
I was
Two of
telling
the judges had it
Yeah.
basically a draw after 10.
Yeah.
yeah.
Almost disaster.
I was telling Gary the
Protect the
reason
star.
is because when there are close rounds, these judges are like, "Well, Canelo's the favorite, so they give it to
Mhm.
Canelo."
Sure.
You know, and Canelo's the A side. So there's a massive advantage of being the A side to a fight when it comes
Protect
to
the cash
scorecards.
cow.
Well, they do it in the UFC more oftentimes than Dana would like. to
Well,
admit.
so then so
UFC should get a cash cow.
I tweeted out.
I think they got one.
How can one card? Because I didn't hear the second one because I was like, 115, 113. And a guy tweeted at me that knows. He said one of the odd things is they all have a different angle. Like they're not all three judges sitting right next to
okay.
each other, so they don't see every. Like you might be blocked by a punch that's thrown or something because where you're sitting.
They got to get those guys a monitor.
Well, and there's always been
Dana,
this
can we use your
discussion about in
monitor?
boxing. Why not post their scorecards live?
So this is a massive argument that's been going on for the last couple of years. It's more of a commission thing than it is a box because you have those in-state commissions, those fighting commissions, the Nevada State Commission. So each state has their own rules for fights.
Part of the fun of it though is that you
So-
don't know.
Yeah,
you,
but
you
what if you were Bud?
like you
and-
just have to like, all right,
You would-
it could be close. I have to go for it
The
here.
problem is though, if you were to do that, you would completely change the dynamics of fighting forever. The fights would be completely different. You would change.
You're right.
It would be a completely different game if they knew what they had to do. And you're right.
You're just
Connor.
guessing.
There is the strategy of does your corner have good enough eyes and understand fighting enough to know whether or not you are winning or losing, right? Because and it's scary to think about. They probably told Bud in the 11th or 12th round.
They did. I heard him.
Yeah.
They were like, "Hey, you're good," and I would have told Bud the same thing because Canelo is going to go. Canelo thought that he was probably the fight was over too, so he's
I believe it was before the 12th. BMAC told him,
Yeah.
"I don't think you're losing, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But BMAC is smart.
Might as well
because
put a
B- 'cause
punctuation on it.
BMAC knows. I think BMAC
Well,
knew
Mac.
that it was going to be probably a tougher scorecard than maybe anticipated. I love. There's a great meme of BMAC eating a bunch of Cheetos, and it was a picture of that, and somebody wrote, "Try convincing somebody that this is the guy that ended up training like the greatest boxer of all time."
He's
He's awesome.
He is one of the best blank talkers in that business. I brought this up to Matt. If you're Canelo Alvarez, and you know what? He lost to one of the best ever. But can you lose to somebody that allows Angel Reese to stop by your room 90 minutes before you fight?
Did that happen?
So Angel Reese came into Bud's
I knew
locker
she
room.
was there.
She's 6'3". She was wearing like 5-inch heels. He's 5'8".
Oh no.
No, I know.
Is there a picture?
But she wanted to. She wanted
No, because
to,
you can. The thing is, like, everybody in this town by now has got a picture with Bud.
Yes.
And you're like, hell yeah! Look at me,
dude,
I'm towering over this guy.
I was telling Gary, I'm like, I went on Twitter that day and everybody posted their butt.
Everybody's got a picture with Bud. You look like you could take him.
But she
You cannot.
So it was like an
Breaking.
awkward, like, hello, I don't know you, but I recognize you. And then
No,
she
she's
wanted
all-
to tell him that this was her first. She didn't call it a fight. She called it like a match or something.
Oh no.
Nice.
And he's like, oh, this is your first match?
If I was him, I'd be pissed. I'd be
but-
like, dude, I'm trying to tape myself
Hey,
up. Like,
but it was so like, Bud
we
was
stop with the
chill. He was
people?
just like hanging out, and she just walked in.
yeah.
Oh my God, there's a post of her trying to like throw a hook, and it's the worst hook ever. It's almost as bad as when Stephen A. Smith was trying to box.
Nice.
He's back on General Hospital today.
Is he
by the way.
back?
Yeah.
Brick is back. He died. He got killed off.
He's back.
Flashback, maybe.
oh,
Hey,
okay.
how would you feel if you're one of the celebrities that when Netflix was going through the role, they did not recognize you?
Oh, I'd be pissed.
Like Tracy Morgan got ignored.
Oh,
no.
my God.
And he's one of the more recognizable guys.
The celebrity shots were like, it was like, here, we have 4 seconds. Let's go through 8 of them. And
Yes.
and then the fight started again after each round, or like before each round. It was
I'll never,
so
I'll
funny.
never forget when they did Baker Mayfield so dirty when they showed the camera on Myles Garrett and then Baker was just there and
Oh.
they didn't shout out Baker at all. That's all. That's a Hall of Fame one.
Tough.
They do it now at every Monday Night Raw though, Josh, of like the celebrities that are at Raw, and it's a bunch of rappers and musicians that I have no idea and I've never heard of them, but apparently they're popular.
They love telling the audience, look how cool we are.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, talking about Your Excellency, WrestleMania going to Saudi, so fun, great,
They got money.
so happy about it, man.
A lot of
All these teams are trying to build stadiums to host WrestleMania, and WrestleMania will never be hosted there because they'll just keep going overseas. So much for that.
We do have a celebrity. Did you hear? So I've not watched the TV copy of Saturday. Meg was on TV next door over on Sweet 98. She was in
Really?
the stands with a hand fan,
Huh.
and apparently on one of their return shots, they got her.
I did not see
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah,
I did not
so
see that.
she is the celebrity in the building. today.
Okay.
At what point of the game? Because admittedly, I wasn't watching very closely after it got to a certain point.
Yeah, you
And
might
that point
be-
was very early.
You might be a sicko if you hung around for all 4 quarters.
I didn't watch it live.
Bishop.
I didn't. I watched it. So I got home late on Saturday night, and then I still had like an hour and a half before the Crawford fight started. And I squeezed it all in there. I was like, I've seen what I needed to see.
Bishop literally said on BRO, he goes, "Yeah, I didn't see the first quarter."
He didn't. He
that's
was doing
fine.
a pregame show.
Yeah, and then
fine.
he showed up, and then
It was funny.
yeah, he like in the middle of the first quarter, he goes, "Okay, I think I'm leaving."
He was like, "I didn't see that part, but I'm sure that happened."
Did he come here and do the show?
No, no.
I
he
didn't.
like-
I didn't listen to any Big Red Overreaction on Saturday.
Oh, it's fine.
They
He
were
didn't
able to
have
pull
to.
off 2 hours.
Good job.
Well, what happened was we weren't getting any calls, and John was like, "All right, we need to get calls." And I go, "This is easy. Everybody, tell me why you hate Michigan." And then the calls kept coming,
Good job.
and then it did not stop for the next hour and a half.
If
Matt
you ask for
McMaster
it-
saved
Yeah.
BRO.
If
Well,
you ask for it, you'll get it. You'll
This
get
is
it.
just this is just me listening to caller radio my entire life.
Do we need to turn this into Michigan Hate Week?
Oh yeah.
It already is. What do you mean turn it into? Can't stand those guys. They're cheaters.
the guy-
Gary, they're cheaters.
The
They're
guy
filthy.
that you hate the most is going to be on your screen tonight in Vegas coaching an NFL game.
No, Denard Robinson isn't. He's not. He's not coaching an NFL game. I think he's just back at home.
You
like-
hate Denard Robinson the
Yeah.
most?
Yes.
Denard Robinson lost in Lincoln.
Denard Robinson got fired because he's a cheater.
Jim Harbaugh.
Got suspended.
I'm fine with Jim.
Really?
Yeah, I'm fine with Jim.
I can't.
The rest of them go pound sand.
I like John. John's a cool cat.
Yeah, John's cool. I mean, you're going to hate a staff that's going to come in here that the interim is Biff, the OC is Chip, and the DC is Wink.
Oh, and they're all crying. I heard this story about how they were, there was this emotional thing when Sharon Moore, started taking his
Fun
suspension.
week.
God, that guy loves crying for some reason.
Well, I heard the
Oh,
beautiful.
that's right. When he was the interim for Harbaugh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was they won at Maryland or Penn State?
Yeah, it's at the end of the year, and they had this win. They were like, no, they won at Ohio State. It was after the Ohio
many-
State game last
How
year.
many games has Hausman played at Michigan where he's actually had an interim head coach?
More than not, maybe.
four games.
There's more than that by now.
How many did they get suspended last year? 2.
So this dates back all the way to 23, right?
Yeah. Well, the last 3 games before they won they won the national championship, and in the last 3 games of the regular season, they did not have their head coach on the sideline.
Mhm.
That is wild.
Totally normal.
Oh, totally normal.
Totally normal.
Well, Matt Rhule is 0-1 against interim head coaches
Oh no.
Oh, okay. Hold
at
on.
Nebraska.
Let me think about
It was a game to become bowl eligible.
It was
it.
It was a terrible game.
It was probably the worst game under Rule, in my opinion. That wasn't like a calamity, just a
road game.
worst played game that they've had.
Was it in his first
In
year?
his first year, they had a
Yeah.
chance to go. They went into the month with a chance to be bowl eligible,
Right.
And everybody thought it was going to be this game.
Was it Michigan State?
Yeah.
Yes.
They had Mel was gone. I don't even remember who the interim was. They not only was Mel gone, but Michigan State had the worst quarterback situation in the country. They had a guy named Noah Kim starting for them at QB.
Very cool.
Sam
And then-
Leavitt played in that game.
Yes. And then Sam Leavitt nearly became a Husker until he became
Until
Arizona.
Dylon.
Yeah, showed up.
Dylon.
But Matt Rhule's going to have 2 opportunities this year to play interim head coaches.
All right.
So he can
You can go
Fire
2-1.
that around.
You can be 2-1.
2-1,
Change that record right around.
2-23.
Yeah. UCLA's in trouble. Big,
I don't think it's
Yeah.
just a football program.
big trouble. They might
think-
just close up shop.
I think USC as a rival did them dirty because USC went to the Big Ten
They-
and UCLA could not go to the Big Ten.
Yeah, but they needed the money. They
Yeah.
need the money so bad.
but they
Don't
are
get that
still in a
money!
financial mess.
Yeah,
because they're a state school in the state of California.
yeah. Now they have to travel all across the country.
But-
It's bad. It's bad.
I mean, the crowd the other night, like their first game, it was bad. The crowd against Utah, and there were a lot of Utahns there. The crowd on Friday night was even worse.
At the same time, though,
There was a guy had his own section in the Rose Bowl.
you can control whether you get 300 rushing yards put up on you by New Mexico.
That is true.
That's in
crazy.
your control.
That's
So,
a huge decision.
That's not like a money thing.
But how many? He didn't even get to make it through year 2.
No.
No.
He was in such a
was-
bad spot when
was
they
he-
hired
was
He
him.
should have never been hired. They got an
Yeah.
AD problem, not
Yeah.
a head coach
Yeah,
problem.
they got a whole deal.
Was he ever though? Like heading into the year, I don't think I would have picked him to be the first head coach fired though, because they ended the year pretty well, and they got Nico, but Nico is bad. He's Akron, so
No, he probably wouldn't have been in there. It would have been Fickle.
And they knew they had a tough
Riley.
non-conference schedule, so like he couldn't
Yeah.
even he didn't have to go through it 3-0.
I don't even think he was second on my list either. It was tough. It was
Tough
tough. Well,
times.
now he's no longer in LA.
Well, he probably will live there still.
I don't have you. I haven't called him or anything or talked to him, so I don't know what his
It
family
doesn't sound like
situation
a
is.
great place to live, honestly. If you weren't like a football coach, I wouldn't want to live in LA. We're in LA. It's us in USC.
No, God no. Who are they going to hire? Think they give Ryan Walters a
Tony
second
White.
shot? No, Tony won't take it.
Tony didn't take it last time, but will he take it this time?
No, I bet Tony White ends up at South Florida.
Really?
Head coach at South Florida
That'd be a-
takes another job.
Be a
You
great
can stay in the state of Florida.
Florida.
See, I think there's a lot of these jobs where your current job might be better than a job that on paper looks better,
Mhm.
but you have more resources and your NIL is in better shape.
He would have to get some assurances from UCLA.
Oh, well, so the story goes, that's what Rhule told him because UCLA wanted
take a
to
bad
offer,
job. Yep.
and they were like, you better ask them what their NIL situation is.
Mhm.
And they were like, not very good. Okay, thanks.
Hey, we're going to need some
It's-
assurances. We can assure you we'll try.
It's improving.
But there are places where if you
It's
do not
competitive.
succeed, you're done as a head coach. Like Nebraska is one of those places. I mean, if Frost had not had a connection to Central Florida, is he back in college football or is he
Probably as an
is
OC.
he an OC in the NFL?
Probably an OC. He
But-
would have been back. as
But
an
you get
OC.
fired here, Frank is probably an outlier.
Mike Riley went to the United Football Champions League or whatever that is to coach the New
UFL?
Jersey Generals.
But Callahan never was a head coach again.
No, God, no. I mean,
that was
Bo-
more of his choice. He probably could have been at some point.
Bo, I guess Youngstown State, but
Yeah.
he was never head coach again.
bring back Bo. That's
Remember
what I
when
said.
Bo went back to be the LSU defensive coordinator for 1
Yes.
year
Yeah.
and it was a disaster?
It was so bad.
That was the
And then
COVID
everyone
year,
got
right?
fired. It was the year
Yeah.
after they won the national championship.
Yeah, it was the COVID year. It was they were awful defensively.
It is. It
and
is-
everyone got fired.
They got
it's
beaten the first
quite-
week by Mississippi State. And,
Do you know how insane it is? How quickly Ed O just got fired after winning a national championship. Not
Yeah.
just winning a national championship, having arguably the greatest team of all time.
It's called some confirmation on some thoughts that you might have had pre-national championship.
Big time.
Yeah.
Well, that was a legendary tweet of we just found out that LSU hired Ed Ogeron. We all laughed. And then they were like, oh, look at the receipts. Look at the receipts after they won the Natty. And then they ended up kicking him to the curb. And then he
Well,
What do you-
don't hit on a booster's pregnant wife.
Well, there's also don't be bad at football.
yeah, that's probably more so to Connor's
Yeah.
point.
That being good at football gives you cover to hit on a booster's
I do-
pregnant
That's
wife.
right.
I
That's
do
right.
appreciate him though going on a podcast and being like, yeah, they came up to me and said that they're going to give me $17 million to leave, and I told them, what
That's
door
cool.
do you want me to walk out of? What door you want me to walk out of?
That's cool.
That's cool.
I like
I like money.
Tell you what,
Alright.
he's not the only one, man. There have been other coaches that their daughter or their wife, you got to know the boosters.
What?
Get you in trouble.
What?
But win.
What do you mean? Like you got to know who's boosters' daughters?
You got to
and
know
wives?
who the boosters are and who, if you recognize their daughters or their wives, in case you.
You got to get a lay of the
Yeah, you
land.
gotta
Do you-
know.
Do you think they hand out a pamphlet when they get hired? Do not contact.
You can only learn from experience. You can only learn from experience. All right.
Have a good show.
Thank you. You
Ready
guys have
break.
a great day.
Ready for Michigan.
Yes, Michigan Week Part 2. It's here.
You did call this. I was listening to the show a month ago, and you were like,
This is a disaster.
You were
Yeah.
like that stretch between Cincinnati and Michigan is going to be absolutely brutal. We're going to go 2 weeks without an actual football game.
Let the record show that I was once again right.
Well, you're wrong about the Bears because you thought they were good and they suck. They're
might be right
terrible.
about that.
They're Akron.
That's the crossover. Powered by Every Level Concrete Repair in Omaha at everylevelconcrete.com. It is Monday. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone.
Staying warm to start the week Monday. Expect mostly sunny skies throughout the day. Breezy at times with south wind gusting up to 20 miles per hour. Can't rule out a stray shower south of the metro later in the day, though most stay dry. Highs in the upper 80s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Dallas Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard has something fun for all ages. Visit the foam ball play area called the Egg.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Monday. It's the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you back from the weekend and here for Michigan week. It's time, ladies and gentlemen.
Finally.
Let's get ready to rumble. Let's go.
This is the big one.
It really, truly is.
We've been waiting.
A lot about how big it is. It's so big. This week, Nebraska, Michigan on Saturday. They did play a game on this past Saturday at Memorial Stadium, although I don't know what we can really gain from it.
Oh,
I mean,
we gained a win.
Yeah. So I saw Max Olson just put out his stop rate, and I think in his stop rate he only counts games against FBS opponents. So do you really count it?
Well, I mean, it counts towards the 6.
Nebraska, by the way, with their 2 games against FBS opponent, minimum 2 game against FBS opponents. Maybe he counts all the games, not just the FBS games, but 5th in the nation right now in stop rate, 86.4%. That would reflect in my drive chart.
Drive chart.
Oh yeah, we got the drive chart. I don't know if we'll do it today, but we'll do it at some point throughout the week. Spoiler alert, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good right now. Mike Schaefer is going to join us here in about 20 minutes. We'll move Mike Schaefer officially as the football season continues on to 11 o'clock. He is an 11 o'clock guest on Mondays now.
Book it.
Because Matt Rhule seemingly we're settling in on 11:30 for the Matt Rhule Monday press conference, which you'll be able to hear right here on this show. And Sam McKeown will join us at 1. That is the lineup powered by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We want to hear from you all, 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Call or text that number. Tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor, Josh O at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to the YouTube streamers out there. A lot of remember who's the Virginia Tech guy? Oh yeah, Husker. He's excited about Brett Pry's departure, and maybe kind of getting himself excited about Shane Beamer, who they had a disaster of their own over the weekend.
Oof.
The best part of the Nebraska game is that they had Eric Collins on the call, and he almost gave us another, oh no, disaster. Houston Christian fumbled a snap, and he goes, oh no, almost a disaster, because he recovered the ball. I was sitting on my couch like Leonardo DiCaprio, just pointing at the TV. Oh, he did it again. Apparently that's his thing. He just says, oh no, disaster.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that was his bit.
Good bit.
Oh no! Disaster! What a bad idea! Oh my goodness!
So that's what we got out of that game. If there was anything. Also, TJ Lateef threw a ball far.
Him throw a ball far.
And throw a ball far. And people are really excited about TJ Lateef. They like the running quarterback, Josh.
Oh, Nebraska's always been enamored with the running quarterback.
Love the running quarterback. So we'll have some stray thoughts coming off of the game. Red jersey reaction. Seemed like people liked it.
I saw a lot of positive over the weekend.
It's Michigan week. Williams Winery picking up the football the way he picked up the football. Did you know that Josh, Nebraska had a defensive touchdown on Saturday?
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Love that.
Archie Wilson, he didn't punt, but he did play. So his family from Australia got to see him on the field.
That's good.
He was the deep safety guy when they took a knee on the last play at the end of the game. They just put him out there. They're like, go out there, Archie.
Yeah, what do you think they told him?
Wave to the people.
And does he fully understand this American football thing yet?
Well, luckily they're staying in town for one more week. So I think we'll probably get to see him punt this week.
What if we didn't?
Unless we didn't, in that case, something has gone incredibly well.
Yeah.
For Nebraska. Or, of course, horribly, which is also an option in situations like this. But yeah, I think prediction to start the week, we're going to see Archie Wilson.
Okay.
And he will punt it this week. He might even fake it. Who knows?
Whoa.
A couple firings over the weekend. Deshaun Foster gets canned after allowing 300 rushing yards and getting wrecked by New Mexico in front of 10 people on their home field. Tough look.
Yikes.
Brett Pry gets canned after getting housed by Old Dominion. Good call by them.
Yeah, that's probably the right move.
Nate Borica catches the game-winning touchdown at Notre Dame. For Texas A&M, Josh, the Aggies are back. I had that game predicted correctly in predictions.
You did.
This week. Mr. Correct.
You also said Georgia Tech would win the game.
I did, and they did.
I won money off of that prediction.
But you picked Clemson to win the game.
I did.
So but you must have Georgia Tech on the spread plus 3.5.
I said, you know what?
I agree with Connor.
Connor's right. I'm going to bet Georgia Tech money line. And I did. And I was glad I did.
Wow, always listen to me.
Yeah.
That's the result. But in each of the first three, no. Okay, so we didn't pick Nebraska in week 1 of picks because they had already played. So in each of the first 2 times that we have picked Nebraska, I have chosen the other team to cover. So I'm taking L's on Nebraska right now. They're scoring, 60 points. Would have been nice if they could have scored 60 points in that game.
They came very close.
A point shy. Took a knee in the red zone.
Cowards.
Shame on them. All right, so we got some fun coming up for you guys today. And, of course, we'll talk about the never-ending enjoyment that we get from watching Bud Crawford, Omaha's own, fight. There was some stress going into this one. Is he he's jumping up a weight class again? He's fighting like a person with a pulse. Not that he's just fought tomato cans in his career, because people want to keep saying that. But hey, this is a guy that I have heard of, even if you're a casual boxing fan. There was some stress going into this one.
There was.
And yet again, Bud Crawford, Omaha's own, comes through for us again. What might be next and all that stuff will be covered. And we'll do that when we return. It is Monday on the Connor Happer Show, Michigan Week Part 2 on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
We get a quick Emmys recap from Josh Odson.
It was not good.
Thank you, Josh.
Might not be seeing Nate Bargatze everywhere.
Oh, was
after
he?
this.
Did he bomb?
He did not do well.
Really?
Yeah.
But everyone loves him so much. He's so agreeable.
He's so agreeable that he decided not to
Make any jokes about anything.
tell any jokes. Yeah.
Come on, Nate Bargatze. Bargatze, I think it is.
Yeah,
maybe?
they said it, and now here's your host, and they said it differently than I say it, and I said,
I think it's
wait,
Bargatze.
yeah, I was like, wait, that's how you pronounce it? Okay.
Nate Bargatze once performed at a sold-out CHI Health Center in Omaha.
He did, and he probably will again.
He probably will again. Another sold-out event inside CHI Health Center tomorrow. Creighton and Nebraska volleyball.
Honk honk.
Okay, so let me just say this before we get into the, we'll talk about it plenty tomorrow, obviously. I'm going to tell you this. If you're going to the volleyball game tomorrow downtown in Omaha, whether you're wearing red or blue, I'm here for you. Get there early.
Oh, you mean like an hour early? I'll just dive in.
Whenever you're thinking about getting there, like I want to be in my seat by X time, right? Game starts at 6:30. I want to get in my seat by, let's say, 6, and then you're doing the math back in your head. Okay, it'll take me a half hour to get there. I'll leave at 5:30. That sounds like a great plan to me. Wrong. You will want to create more time for yourself.
More time.
Omaha downtown right now is a bit of a disaster, including right near the arena. Parking and navigating through downtown Omaha is going to be a bit of a challenge tomorrow night. So I'm just telling you right now, earlier than you think.
Should I just take off work tomorrow?
That's an option.
And go now.
I don't know when they open the doors.
Okay.
Probably an hour and a half prior, like probably at 5 or maybe 4:30. But yeah, just you're going to want to get down in the area and parked with plenty of time, because when FS1 goes live for their broadcast tomorrow, a couple minutes after 6:30, we want that building to be full, because
want to pop it.
They're going for the regular season indoor attendance record.
They are
to take it back.
They've said that several times on social media. We want to take it back.
So, yeah, just if you want to see first serve, leave yourself some time. That's my advice to you.
We're not the Dodgers. We're not showing up in the middle of the game.
No.
You get there right away.
Leave yourself an extra couple minutes. Terence Crawford, our GOAT.
Bud.
Once you get past the fact that the fight started at midnight, it was once again an incredible television viewing experience. He never disappoints. There's very few things in life where you're just like, oh, wow, I shouldn't have any concern about this, because he's going to come through for us. I will be happy at the end of this.
I felt so foolish being nervous before the fight.
He always comes through.
He does.
He's amazing. I'm, as I mentioned on Friday, I'm not a ball knower of boxing, but I came through with the analysis of Go Bud Go, and
good analysis.
I thought that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm reminded every time I watch, especially Bud fight, because he's such a technician. The chess match is so fascinating to watch, and I think it's really cool that Nebraska's own and Omaha's own is sort of known for his ability to fight, and it's inside of that is the cool part. It's not like he's beating people with brute strength. He is well calculating math in real time. It's technique. It is boxing. And so people will watch the first two rounds of the Terence Crawford fight, and they'll say, what's going on? Nothing. And they'll say, no. He's reading. He's learning. When can I take a shot? When can I be aggressive? It is so cool to watch in real time. And he always figures it out. He always gets the math right.
He'll always give you that wry smile about round 4 or round 5. And you're like, oh, okay.
He's got it.
He's got this.
There are very few things that fire me up. I was thinking about this as it was happening. very few things fire me up more, especially like, I'm laying on my couch. It's 1:00 in the morning and I'm like, I need some adrenaline. Like, do I need to take some action and have a late night coffee or something like that? Like, what's going on here? But I'll tell you what I got my energy from. When you see his eyes light up, when he does one of those, he starts looking at him. He's like, oh yeah, I got him. I got him. Nothing fires me up more. It's so cool. It's so cool. And then obviously it is so cool that he is Omaha's and that he is Nebraska's. And he, takes his time to represent the state and represent the city and all those things. It's every single time Bud Crawford comes through with this. So it's led to all these conversations about where does he go on the Mount Rushmore. Like if you're doing top athletes from the city or from the state right now, I mean, he can't be below third.
Yeah.
He can't be below third. So he's risen all the way to that point. And he's whether it's Bob Gibson and Gale Sayers and then him.
Combination of the three.
And the fun thing about all three of those guys is that none of them played it at Nebraska, which I'm not saying that as a slight to Nebraska. I'm saying that as they can generally be agreeable to everyone.
Yeah.
Right. They are not exclusively, Cornhuskers or, Gibson played it at Creighton, but Sayers played at Kansas and then in the NFL and Terence is, Omaha's and he's Nebraska's. And he comes through for us every single time. It's amazing. It led to a little bit of a sleepy Sunday, I think, for most. But it was a price. It was a price well paid. So fun to watch.
He outboxed, quote unquote, the greatest boxer of his generation, Canelo Alvarez. And I don't want to start a culture war when I say this, he out mariachi'd the Mexican fighter.
Oh yeah,
on the way to the ring.
Yeah, so the other cool thing about Bud is like he will, for the most part, like he knows the situations that he's in. When he's asked, he'll tell you the truth. And usually that ends up being like really respectful, especially after the fights about his opponents. It's like, yeah, man, it was a good fight. And, whatever comes my way, let's do it again or whatever it might be. He doesn't overcommit himself to anything. But if he's put in a situation where it's trash talk time, he's one of the best at that too. He's one of the best at that too.
The Desperado entrance, it was great. And it's as great as he is, as he climbs the list of great fighters all time, it's still awesome to see, like,
it says Omaha on his belt.
Yeah, it says Omaha on his belt. That super famous person is talking about Bud Crawford, who is from down the street. Like, it's still super cool. And so we talked about Friday, like, win or lose, I think I'll be really proud of him. And I didn't think I'd feel that way. And so glad he won. So glad he got his flowers Saturday night. And you could tell it meant a lot for him when that decision was read.
So whatever it is, whatever he wants to do next, I think people will be okay with it. But a lot of people, and he's hinted at this before in his career, that his whatever happens next, it's pretty likely that there will be a fight inside Memorial Stadium at some point.
Both parties seem to really, really want it.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's next or if that's down the road.
Probably a lot of money on the table if you want to do Crawford Alvarez 2.
I don't know if you could get him to do it at Memorial Stadium.
Well, yeah, that's not the fight that's going to happen at Memorial Stadium. It's going to be him against a guy you've never heard of,
probably,
which is fine.
But would be a great thing for him, and then of course to the state as well. And he wants to do stuff like that.
And now Matt Rhule can use it as fuel for Michigan week.
How about Rhule?
Risk it all.
How about Rhule hopping on the PJ and showing up with the red blazer on and then coming back, and then they put out a video on Sunday morning. He's like, yeah, I'm working.
What
of it?
And he gets to tell his team now.
You guys don't understand. I don't think we can fully grasp the power of a private jet. I mean, this this really underscores the entire thing, right? Because what's he doing when he gets on the PJ after the game? He's working.
Yeah.
He's watching tape. And then he goes to the match. So it's like us watching it on TV. We put just as much effort into it as us watching it on TV, but he's actually there. He doesn't have to sit in an airport for 2 hours and wait for a flight or anything like that. It's not taxing for him to fly across the country. What does he do on the way back? While everybody else immediately turned off their television and they went to sleep? That's what Matt Rhule did too. He just turned off his eyes and hopped on a plane and then probably slept on the way back and then went to work the next day. Private jets, that's the life.
You can get things done.
Yeah, you really can. That's what John Taffer said. John Taffer was like, I bought a private plane because I did the math and it just saves me so much time. It's a time thing. So shout out to Matt Rhule.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will hear a lot of that coming up in about a half hour here when Matt Rhule speaks at his Monday press conference. But first, we have to unpack a little bit of Saturday and Saturday night as well with Mike Schaefer of Husker 247. He'll join us on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Come to
Yeah, I have statistics to back up that we have people that listen.
Mike Schaefer,
Anytime there's sort of a debate as to who can do something, Happer would always put his name forth.
For sure.
Husker 24/7 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
I could be a star.
Mike Schaefer of Husker 247 joins us now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Schaefer, good morning to you. What's going on?
Not a ton. Went to the first pumpkin patch of the season on Sunday. Discovered what I assume many people who have been there already know, but the cookies that are made at Vala's are like absolutely incredible. So that was nice to learn that when I'm at Vala's for the next however many years of my life, I can always count on paying for some very expensive but very high quality cookies.
Excellent.
Going forward to get me through pumpkin patch season.
What a great thing to learn. Yeah, so good day to go for it. And then you got the great pleasure of watching your Minnesota Vikings last night on Sunday Night Football. Did anything happen in that game?
No, I mean, they played a team. They scored 6 points. At one point, it looked like it was only going to be field goals. And then Tyler Algier, who nobody needed for fantasy purposes, scored the only touchdown of the game. It was pretty terrible. I feel like this team should be sent to Europe for its games. And the good news is they will be here in a couple weeks. They'll be in Europe and playing at 8:30 in the morning. It's a more appropriate time for J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings, I think.
All right.
Certainly prime time, the first 2 games.
Yeah, it was tough. Full disclosure, I had a decision to make at halftime because I was pretty tired after a long weekend, and I was like, I think I'm going to go to bed. I think I've seen enough, and it turned out when I woke up this morning that I made the right choice.
Yeah, the peak of the game for Vikings fans was the very end of the first half when J.J. McCarthy is unbelievable at throwing exactly one pass to set up a long field goal for Will Reichert. Like they've got that down pat, but they should really try to focus on doing more, I think, in the rest of the 60 minutes, not just in the final 15 seconds beforehand.
Do more good passes. We'll see if they.
That would be my suggestion to Kevin O'Connell, who has won Coach of the Year and hasn't looked like it, previously these last 2 weeks.
He's got a bit of a task in front of him with the quarterback who's still learning, obviously, on the job. All right, Schaefer, do you have but one take that you can muster from Saturday's football game?
One take.
I want one take.
Here's a take. We don't know which of Nebraska's wide receivers will be the best that it has in any given game, and that's a great thing for Nebraska and tough on defenses everywhere. Because they've had 3 games now, 3 different wide receivers, I believe, have led them in receiving, with Hunter in week 1, Barney in week 2, Key in week 3. All of them are high quality, and I think you could make a case for any as Nebraska's best wide receiver. How's that for a random take you were expecting?
I love it. I think if there's one thing that has been absolutely solidified that we kind of like thought going into the season, it's exactly that. This receiver group is definitively better than it was last year for a variety of different reasons, but most maybe importantly is the players are better. The players who are actually catching the balls are better.
Well, and the guys behind them are good too. I mean, that's the other thing that's kind of been fun to see. They have it feels like they have a lot of depth at the pass catching positions at wide receiver and tight end. And so that just, it makes it better. If there is an injury, which hopefully there's not, you at least feel better about Quinn Clark, Cortez Mills, Keelan Smith stepping into those kind of roles.
How far are you allowing yourself to go on the TJ Lateef conversation that has emerged over the last 2 weeks?
Well, there's no real conversation that matters because he's not going to be the starting quarterback. He's a very exciting backup quarterback. He seems like he's not going to redshirt, so he's available for Nebraska. Should Dylan get nicked up, or should they want a specialty package? I don't know if they need to go that far down the rabbit hole, but more than anything, I am fascinated as to how Nebraska constructs its roster and allocates its resources as we get closer to transfer portal season, because you can bet that TJ Lateef will be tampered with. There's no question on that one.
No, not at all. But I agree with you. It's a conversation for next year. It's about why do you think people around here are so obsessed with quarterbacks who can add the running dynamic?
I will say, like, for a Nebraska team that has struggled to score when the field gets small, the simplicity of TJ Lateef just taking off for that scramble when everybody was covered is like the one thing that Dylan Raiola can't do that would make Nebraska's offense that much better. Like, it feels like Raiola is good in a way that we're not used to seeing around here at all. But his one drawback is that he can't do the thing that Nebraska fans are very familiar with their quarterbacks doing, which is just running and picking up easy yards right in front of them. So it's kind of like a wild thing that you have to sort of switch between these two. And so I think there's a natural gravitation towards what TJ Lateef has shown.
A little difficulty over the last couple weeks here because of the quality of opponents that you've played. But how do you feel about Nebraska going into this Michigan game defensively and how they might hold up against a much different talent level of an offense and a team and a much different kind of team in terms of the way that they want to get their yards as well? How do you feel about the Huskers on defense?
Yeah, I'm excited for this cat and mouse game between Michigan's offensive coordinator and John Butler for how they want to do things. I mean, if Michigan's just going to try to say, here it is, try and stop it with the running game, is Nebraska going to allocate or do things different defensively to try to load up in the box and scare Bryce Underwood to beat their coverage, which Nebraska still hasn't allowed over 100 yards passing in a game this season, which is remarkable, even in the non-conference, even against bad teams. So I am really, really curious if they're going to put defensive backs on an island and commit more guys in the box. If they're going to try to provide a press coverage and really sort of pressure that way. If they're going to try to bring exotic blitz packages when it is an obvious passing situation. And so much of this game is ultimately going to come down to John Butler versus Bryce Underwood. And then maybe the X factor in this whole contest is, do they get Bryce Underwood having to feel like he has to run for Michigan to have a chance? Because on one hand, we saw Brendan Sorsby was able to hurt Nebraska that way. On the other, it's really hard to be a running quarterback, and you have to have like a massive gain. Otherwise, picking up 6 yards here, 5 yards there, that's nice, but that's a win if you're weighing that against passing down the field. So it's going to be a really fascinating contest as to how that plays out. And really, can Nebraska's front seven do enough against the run to force the rest of this to play out in the passing game?
Yeah, if there's one thing too, that's got some confirmation in the early going of this season, that defensive backfield. I mean, I know what they've seen and it's and how the teams have played against them, but I mean, you have to feel pretty good even going into a game where the talent level is going to go up a little bit across the field about Nebraska's ability to cover on defense.
And I understand that it's not like Cincinnati played great teams each of the 2 weeks after they played Nebraska, but look at the numbers Brendan Sorsby has put up when he's not going against this defensive backfield. And that's a veteran quarterback, not a guy making his fourth career start like Underwood. And sure, Michigan might have some more wide receiver talent than Cincinnati, but it's not significantly better. So it's not like Michigan's bringing in this passing attack that is set up so well that it should just shred Nebraska's secondary. So it really comes down to, if Michigan is forced to throw the ball, can Nebraska win, get them off the field, force turnovers, force havoc, and set things up? I mean, it feels like that's the biggest strength Nebraska has in this game, and they need it to play out that way on Saturday.
All right, Schaefer, did you stay up all the way through the Crawford fight on Saturday?
Yeah, there's no way that I was missing any part of that, especially with how he came out opposite of what we've seen in almost every other Crawford fight. And he was the aggressor and really kind of took it to Canelo Alvarez there. And, like everybody else, I'm horrified by the scoring from the boxing judges, but I'm glad that they ultimately got it right. Because if that was a split decision, or God forbid, they would have awarded Canelo that fight, I cannot imagine the damage that would have done to the sport. it felt like a respect thing that they didn't have the margin bigger than it was. But Crawford thoroughly dominated that.
Yeah.
Other than maybe 3-4 rounds at most.
Yeah, he was in control the whole way. It's hard to I feel like I very rarely have watched him where it doesn't feel like he's in control. That I feel like that's happened only like 2 or 3 times ever.
The thing that's always been fascinating about Crawford is he'll spend the first 3 rounds letting his opponent show his cards, and then he'll devise his strategies in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, and usually has the fight over by the 7th, 8th round because he's just smarter than the people that he's going against. And here you get Alvarez, where an unbelievable fighter with a great track record and a ton of power, and you're having to go up weight classes. And so he changes his entire style to basically just, I'm going to go after him. He actually had a quote 2 days before the fight where he says in there, I'm going to do things differently than I've ever done. And then he went out and did it. And it's like, he called his shot. It's truly remarkable what Bud Crawford did. It won't get the credit that it probably deserves, and it'll be diminished because it'll be Alvarez wasn't in his heyday and he didn't need to fight. He already got all the money. But what Bud accomplished on Saturday is absolutely unbelievable, and even more so when you think about how easy he made it look.
No doubt.
When it absolutely wasn't.
No, it wasn't. But he always comes through for us at the whether it's a late night or a later night, as it was on Saturday night. Schaefer, we'll let you go. Thanks as always, and enjoy the week.
All right, Connor. Thanks for having me on. We'll catch you next Monday.
Mike Schaefer, Husker 247. So I told Schaefer this morning, I said, probably just go 11. He's like, that sounds awesome. Works great for me, except today I'm going to be in the car. And I was like, you know what? We could deal with it. We'll be okay. I thought he was good. We've had guests with worse delays, that's for sure.
Yeah, he in full disclosure, he asked me on the front end. He's like, "Yeah, how's it sound?"
Schaefer has radio brain.
And I said, "It sounds like you're in the car."
Schaefer is a radio man, so he cares about how it sounds. On some people are just like, "Yeah, you know what? You're having me on the show. You know, you're going to get what you're going to get." Schaefer cares about this stuff. That's why we like Mike Schaefer.
That's right.
And his radio brain. And it gives us a little bit of time to get what you guys thought from over the weekend. So we got a few minutes here. 402-951-1620. Matt Rhule will have his Monday press conference at the bottom of the hour. So we'll have a few minutes on the other side to get some thoughts, some stray thoughts from over the weekend, whether it be football related or boxing related or whatever else you'd like to talk about. I witnessed several volleyball games this weekend, Josh. Many volleyball games.
I saw the inside of a van in the rolling hills of Kansas.
Rolling hills, huh?
Yeah.
Is that what they call those?
That's what they call them. I don't know why.
I think there's many hills in Kansas, Josh.
Yeah.
They don't roll.
There were not.
The only thing that rolls is that van.
We were rolling right along
for several hours.
So many hours.
All right, we'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, a couple minutes here before Matt Rhule's Monday press conference. If you're going to game this Saturday, we'd like to have you party as well. We want to party with you. John and Michael will be doing their pregame show at the Blur Tailgate. And if you'd like to go to the Blur Tailgate underneath the viaduct this Saturday in Lincoln, you can head to 1620thezone.com right now for your chance to win 2 tickets. I believe we'll draw on either Wednesday or Thursday, probably Wednesday. So head to 1620thezone like now would be my suggestion to you all.
Do it now, then it's done, then it's over with.
Yes, that would be helpful. By the way, D'Lo writes in on the YouTube stream.
Hi, D'Lo.
Says, don't get all the anger over the scoring. Talking about boxing. 115 to 113 is 7-5, 7 rounds to 5. You could argue it was 8-4, which one judge had. Me thinks many need a course on how boxing scoring works. So he says, he follows up, he says, you could destroy a guy in one round and then narrowly lose another, and it's tied. Right. It's going to be 10-9, no matter what, unless you knock him down, basically. And I do think there's a little bit of that. I was going to say I'm not a nerd, but I do appreciate the people who score it at home. I don't score it at home because I would have no idea that, I don't know, the punches landed. I know what I'm looking at from a perspective of it feels like that guy won that round. It's very
vibes based.
It's very, very vibes based. But yeah, me as the non-ball knower of boxing, I wasn't necessarily sitting there like, oh yeah, Bud's got it controlled. I felt like he was in control, but I never felt like, oh man, this is absolutely out of the judge's hands and it's over until the last couple when he put the punctuation kind of mark on a little bit.
Always a second away from losing it all, right?
So I think that's a fair point by D'Lo. Admittedly, I'm probably one of those people who would be interested in signing up for the boxing scoring lesson class. Because once again, I don't know ball. I do not know ball.
Takes a big man to admit that.
Debo says, I would actually love a course on boxing and scoring. Throw in bowling while we're at it.
A sports mathematics class.
Yeah, so when you get a strike and then you get 8 in the frame after that, what's that mean?
18 in the first frame.
Josh, you know boxing scoring or bowling scoring?
Yeah.
Good job. What if you get 2 strikes and then a 7 after that?
20? No.
Yeah. No, it can't be right because I've knocked down 27 pins.
27 in the first frame.
And then what do I mark for the second frame?
Well, you would have to roll again.
Well, but I'm telling you, in the first frame I got a strike, in the second frame I got a strike, and in the third frame I got a 7. What's my score after 3 frames?
TBD.
What?
Because you're still rolling on the rewarded strike.
What?
You carry over 2 rolls after a strike.
Yeah.
So if you bowl,
but I've already rolled twice after the first,
but not after the second strike.
I told you I got a second, but I got a 7 after the second
and
strike.
Then you have another roll.
Let's say I got a spare.
Okay.
Now what, Josh?
And then that would be 20. It'd be 20.
It can't be 20. I've knocked down so many pins.
Well, 20 in the second frame.
20 in the second.
D'Lo says the last 2 minutes is why we have machines score bowling today. That is exactly right.
I have absolutely no idea. And you might be right. I don't know what you're saying though.
Okay.
You might be right. I just don't know what you're saying. Adam says depends on your first throw in frame 3. I'm telling you 7. And then I pick up the spare in the third.
And then you would have you knocked down 20 pins in the second frame.
That doesn't make any sense. Thank you. Jason writes in, please stop. I'm too stoned for this.
Whoa. It's 11:30.
It's Monday, baby. Some people got Monday off. Text
That's
from
true.
402 says it's a 47.
A 47.
And
okay.
U10 scares straight 2 balls. Oh, that's what it says.
It's got to be your ball.
That can't be right either. Teresa says a lot of people are saying 47.
Would love to send you to the Matt Rhule press conference.
We should go do a boxing class or a bowling scoring class for sure. Debo, thank you for that. Is he talking already?
Yes.
He is?
Mhm.
We didn't take our second break.
What do you want to do?
Well, we should take the break. And
Okay.
then we'll come back and have the press conference a little bit delayed. So
Yeah. In its entirety.
stick with us. We'll be back with Matt Rhule after this. Maybe he'll comment on bowling scores. 16-20 the zone.
Hey, Blue Jay fans, it's volleyball and soccer season here at Creighton. So get your tickets and come out and support your Blue Jays. For tickets, go to Ticketmaster.com, gocreighton.com/tickets, or visit the office located at the Ryan Athletic Center. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
Get into Prairie Flower Casino and get in the game. Prairie Flower has hundreds of the hottest slot machines along with the PFC Sportsbook and your favorite live table games. Looking for a bite in the beverage? You'll love all our options, including Sky Bar and Grill with nonstop sports on our wall-to-wall TVs and the friendly service you know and love. Play longer, win more at Prairie Flower Casino, just minutes north of downtown Omaha. Must be 21. Please bet responsibly.
My journey began 30 plus years ago, starting in accounts receivable and working my way up to CEO. Today, I lead over 180 employee owners, each committed to delivering excellence. At Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, our service technicians don't work on quotas. They work on trust, ensuring your comfort comes first. We're proud to be locally and employee owned with a culture built on honesty and integrity. Our commitment to the community remains strong through our apprenticeship program. It's just part of
the way we do the things we do. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for KRT Athletic Muscle Cream by Control. You can go to krtrelief.com today and you can get 10% off. And how about this? Free shipping on orders over $15. I have been using KRT Athletic Muscle Cream for the last couple of months, and it has helped me out a ton. Get me back out there on the running trail. Go to the website today, krtrelief.com. That's krtrelief.com.
Roofing, siding, and gutters. Make the right call with the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
All right, I asked Josh if Matt Rhule was talking already. Black Cat says, is he talking? Is that a real question? Yes, Matt Rhule is talking. We wanted to get you to the press conference and play it in full. So we didn't have to worry about the break, although he's still going to go over the top of the hour, so it probably doesn't matter. Here is Matt Rhule on this Michigan Week Monday.
All right, sorry. Appreciate you guys all being here. Thank you. Obviously, good win for us last week. Really appreciate Houston Christian. I thought their team, they competed hard. They played hard for the full game. It was good to get all of our guys who don't start, get them in, for a whole half. And I think that'll benefit us as we move forward into this week. This week, first of all, just an honor to have the 95 team there. Really great experience last year at Colorado to have the 94 team. So look forward to having the 95 team there. And we'll certainly do our best to play football that they can be proud of. I want to make sure I extend the congratulations to Terence Crawford. Historic night, and really cool to see Netflix, see the whole world, see him as he sports the Nebraska N, for everything on his mouthpiece, and seeing all the guys that are with him all wearing Cornhusker red. It's just those things are, I know some people might not completely buy into it all, but it's just those things in this world that we're living in now that got those of us who are day to day. It's just so important. It's not even 5 years ago anymore. It's the world that we live in with this generation of kids who are recruiting, and they're great players. Is brand is cool, and we are grateful that Terence would represent his home state the way that he does, and then obviously just a historic night. A lot of respect for him. With that, we turn to this week. Obviously, we've won 5 of our last 6. And so our guys are starting to understand the process. They're starting to understand going back into last year how to do things at a high level. They weren't giddy yesterday. They weren't happy about some of the things. There's some things we have to really improve upon. I'll make light of a couple. Obviously, our kickoffs right now it's in the kicking game. We can't keep kicking the ball out of bounds. When we do kick the ball, we had some good coverage, but that has to improve. Our goal to go offense inside the 10. We're 69% red zone touchdowns. Our goal is 70. 70 is we think a CFP number. Yet inside the 5 or 6 of our last 9, 3 of them we haven't scored. So the numbers should be through the roof right now. So we have to improve that. Then defensively, obviously, we're facing a team that's 15. I believe their rushing offense is 15th, and so they have a quarterback who's mobile, who can run. And so obviously that showed up in the first game. They will use tempo. They will use sugar huddle. So those are things that showed up in the first game we haven't seen in the last 2, but we'll have to be prepared for that. So a lot for us to work on. I love the way the guys have approached it. And now it begins. The Big Ten season begins, and we're excited for it.
How's this Michigan offense compare strategically, schematically to the one you saw in 23?
I wouldn't spend a lot of time comparing. They were different. You know what I mean? But they still have the same, core philosophies. I mean, like I said, they are 15th in rush offense, and they're 25th in rush defense, right? Like they're gonna have elite play up front on both sides of the ball, and so the quarterback brought the dynamic element of he was their leading rusher in the last game. That hadn't really happened the first 2 games. More of a pocket player in this last game. It was get out and utilize his legs and his skill set. So that obviously adds another element to it, but. They're based on the same core philosophy, philosophy of they're going to control the lines of scrimmage, and they've done that in so far this year.
Do you think these first 3 games, how do you think they've adequately prepared your team for this sort of challenge?
Yeah, not very often. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know that I know how to answer that. To be quite honest with you, I think that's going to be more hindsight. I think Cincinnati's gone on to prove that they're a pretty good football team. Just watching them. I saw what Sorsby did. I know they're playing an FCS opponent, but they've thrown the ball for almost 600 yards in the last 2 games. So I think we can play pretty good pass defense. So I think we had a chance to see some of those things. I think the biggest thing is we've had 3 weeks of just preparation for those games. The games are really where you go execute and compete. To me, it's the work week leading up to it that makes your team better. And I think our guys have worked hard the last 3 weeks to prepare, and they've just been very mature about, hey, this is what we need to improve on each week. Like right now, there's not a guy who doesn't know what we need to improve upon, and that'll continue for the rest of the year. And so I don't know if the games themselves say much. At the end of the day, you're not playing Big Ten teams. So now the Big Ten starts. This is a whole other animal, but I think our guys have worked.
Hey, Coach, Michigan 2 games in a row without their head coach. Just from your perspective, how hard would it be to coach a game and go through game week without the head coach involved?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I hate to say it'd be easy because I'm like, what the heck am I doing? I've never been a part of that, obviously. So I don't know what that would be like. I'm not sure. Obviously they went through it, 2 years ago a little bit, so they know how to do it. I would say that I have a great coaching staff. And, Susan would run the staff meeting. Wish would make sure everybody had the schedule, and Dana and John would do their job. So, I think we all are professionals on our staff. How they're handling it, though, I'm not real sure.
How do you feel about some veterans like Malcolm and Javen who are maybe held back?
Yeah, they'll play. Yeah, they'll play. Yep. They, the thing with Javen was, it was at first it was like, hey, what is this? Like we have to be so abundantly cautious whenever he feels something. But the doctors quickly said, hey, he's just got a little strain. Just seemed better to hold him. It was later in the week. Malcolm, he went out and moved around last night. We practiced last night. He moved around last night. So I would expect to see Malcolm and Javen ready to go.
Gabe and did Elijah get dinged a little bit? Are they good to go?
Elijah Pritchett. Oh yeah, Judy took a helmet to the thigh. I mean, he was in there this morning in treatment. He practiced last night, so he's good to go. Gabe Moore's good to go. Gabe was arguing with me on the sidelines about going back in the game, so I mean, he wanted to play. So it just, he's been a long road back from the ACL he had like 4 years ago, and then some of the hamstring stuff is related to that. So he played well. It was worth keeping him out of and getting some of the younger guys in.
On offense, what's that mostly a reflection of?
I think it just goes back to sort of Dana's approach of routine plays. There's times where the negative of that, you're not drawing up a bunch of stuff that maybe have a ton of huge explosives, but at the same time, the ball's always being advanced. If you go back to when we talked about, I don't know why I have this in my hand. we talked about the Cincinnati game, we said, hey, we wanted to put the ball in play. We wanted 56 runs and completions. And it was somewhere in the 60s, right? So I think part of that then is just continuing that mindset. That wasn't like a Cincinnati. That's just our mindset. We want to put the ball in play. We want to run the ball. We want to complete the ball. Run the ball, complete the ball. So as a result, because we're so much more, balanced in terms of run and pass than we have been previously, when people do pressure us, we're not having as many negative plays because the ball might be coming out, right? And I think a large part of this is also Dylan and even TJ. Now, TJ did, he got in the game. Like, we don't change the offense for TJ. Like, we had a play, checked with a play. He saw pressure. He went to the check. So really pleased with the quarterback play and how well coached they are and how much they're buying into that. So, but I think it's just a matter of we're getting the ball in play. A large percentage of that too is we just have a lot of penalties right now. So it's really those first down penalties. We have had a couple, but you're not in first and 15. You're not in second and 12 because you have negative plays.
A different theme every week. Is there one this week?
Yeah, I probably won't talk about the theme. And it's really just the mission. Like I said, we kind of went to that military mindset of just every week there's a mission that we're going to try to carry out. I talked about it last week because I knew we were going to do the all red uniforms, and I know that sometimes can be disconcerting for people, and I understand it, right? Like if Penn State came out in all blues, I would lose my mind. So I can prompt, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I get it. But it was really important to the players. The players got together over the summer. They talked about, hey, we want to do this week and this week. And all I've asked the guys for, I've came up with this term. I don't know if it's a real term. You guys are the writers. You guys will feel free to tear it apart if it's not good. But I've called it like universal individuality. Like everybody wants to do something. So if we're going to do something, then everybody do it, right? So like if I want to wear Red Sox, okay, there's a game we'll wear Red Sox, but everyone's going to wear Red Sox. I had them all get together as a team and come up with it, and they really wanted to wear the all red combination, and so we went out and did it. So that was I kind of let that out, and I knew it was really important to me that we supported Bud Crawford. That came from the players. That was Dylan that came to me and said, hey, can we wear these t-shirts? Hey, can we do this? Can we do that? I really appreciate Jay, Terry, Susan for working with Al Recker and Adidas on that. Moving forward, I'll probably keep those just a little bit more internal because I'm not super creative. They're not great.
I didn't know if it was anybody can be a nobody this week.
No, you know what? No, but it's not. It's funny. I was in the training room yesterday, and D Bell was like, "Oh, I told my grandpa like Coach Rhule's gonna be talking about that fight for the whole team meeting long." So I just showed I just showed one little bit of it, But I, because I know one thing is pretty cool about it. I know all of our players watched it. Like I had guys texting me like, "Hey, did you see this? Did you see that?" So we have a pretty locked in, close group right now.
What was it like being out there in Vegas? And did you get to meet any notable people just in your brief trip out there?
Well, it was my wife's birthday, and we went out with Troy and Amy Dannon. So I won't say how old my wife turned 22, so I'm real happy for her. I had the team sing to her in the locker room. Julie's not like I met a lot of coaches' wives. Some coaches' wives love attention. My wife does not like attention, and so she was kind of upset. But we went out there and did that, and it was really cool. At the end of the day, I think just going down and seeing Bud afterwards, seeing Terence afterwards, and just seeing how happy he was that we were all there, was really a really cool moment for us. I saw a bunch of the famous people. I saw, it's funny, Steven Jackson was at practice here for us, the great Rams running back. He was at practice here on Friday, came to the game. And then I saw him and Orlando Pace as they were walking in. And I said to Orlando, I said, you probably don't. I said, I just remember you played goal line defense and short yardage defense at Ohio State. And he was shocked that someone remembered that. So I was like, I remember being on a scout team at Penn State watching those things. But yeah, I thought it was an amazing atmosphere. You know, I've been blessed in my life. I was at the Super Bowl at Baylor. I took the Baylor job. I went to the Super Bowl when Tom Brady came back against the Falcons. I was with my dad was my dad's a minister. My dad would do a lot of chapels. So we got tickets to things. He'd do like the visiting team or home team chapels. I was at game 6 of the 86 World Series when the ball went through Buckner's legs. I was at game 7. I went with my mom to game 7. This was the greatest sporting event I've ever been to. This was the absolute best thing that I've ever been a part of. And just take out the fact that obviously I was Team Crawford. It was just take out the pomp and circumstance, just two warriors in the ring. And then, you know, when he took, I forget, was it the 5th round? He took that punch and he smiled at him. I was like, oh, we got it. And then in the last round, I mean, I'm the biggest compete. I was screaming like, get away. You got this one, stop. But that's what makes him him. And so, but no, it was an amazing experience. It was cool to see. I mean, I saw a ton of Nebraska people. Originally, I was like, well, I'll kind of go out there incognito, and that, you know, there was no incognito. There was Huskers were everywhere. And, you know, I said on the radio this morning, but I asked our team if I could go. I didn't want to do anything that was a distraction. And our guys were like, don't ask us what we're doing after the game. We want to ask you what you're doing. So it was pretty cool.
Would you like to play a game there?
Sorry?
Would you like to play a game there or something?
Yeah. Like play in Allegiant. Yeah, that'd be really interesting. I hadn't thought about that. Like, I had never been there, you know, before that. And so it was kind of, you know, like I'd been to like SoFi and I've been to the Viking Stadium. And I think those are elite. You know, they're like the new modern palaces, you know. So yeah, I think that'd probably be pretty interesting. You know, I'd have to ask Fred how the Crown experience was, you know. So, I think they had a great time. I mean, you know, but yeah, it'd probably be pretty cool.
What have you thought of Michigan's offensive line this year compared to maybe years past?
I can't compare them to the past, you know, because I don't remember anything really from. I'd have to like study it, you know what I'm saying? But like, they're an outstanding offensive line. They're big, they're powerful, they're athletic, they run all the runs. You know, anytime your head coach is an offensive line coach, you probably put a lot of stock in that. So, you know, I mean, this is an excellent top 25 football team. You know, they're 2-1 because they played another top 10 football team and they had a battle. It'll be an unbelievable challenge. It'll be a great challenge.
You described just the opportunity for Nebraska's national profile going up against a ranked team, a brand new.
Yeah, and we're going to play a lot of ranked teams this year. I think yes, we'll have this opportunity many times. I mean, the Big Ten is the Big Ten. You know what I mean? It's I think one of the cool things that Tony Petitti's done. I think one of the chess moves, you know, one of the chess moves he's done is, you know, we now that was an iconic, you know, SEC time, right? The 2:30, 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Eastern CBS game, right? Even the Friday night game. I mean, like, you know, I know last week it was a different. Last week was what it was UCLA, New Mexico, but like, you know, you have all these national games, and so players all across the country. When you're at the University of Nebraska, you know, we have a chance to recruit the whole country. They all have a chance to see us on national TV. You know, the NBC Saturday night game. You know, all these things are important. And, you know, a lot of the teams in our conference, you know, I don't know who has what, but some of them, they don't play at night. Certain times they have old tolerances. We don't have any of those. So they can put us whenever they want us. So if you're a good team, you're going to have a chance to play a lot of, you know, national games where everybody there to watch you. But you look at the history of Nebraska, you know, think about, you know, the Oklahoma game, and everyone in the world watched the game, right? So it's just, you know, let's go be on TV, and let's try to perform at a high level when we are on TV.
I think you guys have had some of the red zone struggles inside the 10.
You know, I hate when coaches say execution, but you know, we had a like going back to last week, you know, we had Ja'Cory on an out route, and we just didn't connect on it. You went back to that same play this week. You know, it's 4th down. We teach to reach the ball across the goal line on 4th down. We had 2 4th downs where we didn't reach because don't reach the ball across the goal line. We're yelling at Williams for not having 5 points of ball security as he's a defensive lineman scoring a touchdown. But the thing is, if it's the last play of the half, if it's a 2-point or the game, if it's a 2-point play or if it's 4th down, we should reach it because there's nothing to lose. We didn't do either one of those. So I think great teaching moments. But I wouldn't say it's any one thing as much as it is just we just haven't, you know, kind of put it all together yet. So we'll have a separate period for it. And we've always do it, but we'll add some emphasis to it this week and try to get better.
Based on his performance in 3 games, how do you feel about Dylan's readiness for the Big Ten?
Dylan's more than ready. Yeah. I mean, it's a tough league. I mean, you're going to face great teams. It's never just Dylan. I mean, it's, to me, you stop passing games two ways, right? If you can strap people up and play man and lock them down, then great. Not everyone can do that. And the best offensive coordinators have answers for that. And then it's the ability to get pressure on the quarterback. And it's not sacks. It's, can you get in the paint? Can you get around the quarterback's feet? Can you bother him? Can you stress him? And so if we have great protection, and we've had great protection, then quarterback's going to be unbelievably efficient. And so, we are, I don't know what we are. He gives me a bunch of nice stuff. Like, we're 5th in passing right now. I mean, I thought it was really, really critical what happened early in the game. We took a play action pass, and there was 25-mile-an-hour wind coming, from the south end zone, and to throw that ball deep down the field to Dane into the wind, I thought was really, really important. But Dylan's working at a high level, but he'll be the first to tell you it's the 5 guys up front. It's the tight ends, it's the backs, it's everybody being where they're supposed to be that allows him, and then allowing him to go up there with 2 plays most of the time and check plays. Everyone has to be unbelievably locked in. So if he just says alert, or just gives a hand signal, they all go to the second play, and they've been very locked in.
Is there anything in particular that defines Wink Martindale that you just expect when he's calling defense?
Yeah, Wink's elite pressure. Yeah, he's pressure. He's one of my favorite coaches when I was in the NFL. I got a lot of respect for him. He's a tough guy. These guys are going to play unbelievably hard. He's going to, what I just said, how do you stop a passing game? You can get pressure on the quarterback, and he can do that multiple ways. And part of the pressure is also painting pictures for the quarterback and showing them different things. A lot of quarterbacks can come out and say, oh, it's man. This is my man beater. Oh, it's cover 2. I should throw the ball here. It's when the picture changes, like, that's hard for a lot of guys. They just throw the ball to the man beater, but it was cover 3, or they throw the ball. And so that's what we're always working on, Dylan and TJ and those guys want to see in the picture. You have a pre-snap clue, but it has to be confirmed by a post-snap cue. Like, oh, I should go here with the ball pre-snap, but then the picture changes, and then I confirm it post-snap on whatever that cue is, the safety, the corner. And I think Wink, like John, does a great job of showing you one picture, oh, here he comes. And then, they bring the jack and the corner. Oh, they run to cover 2. They bring 5-man pressure. They run to cover 2. So, Dylan he'll have to be prepared. Coaches will have to be prepared for all the different pictures you see and might see.
Facing Butler's defense all the time in practice going to help him with that, because of Butler's.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan's had 2 years of every Tuesday starting off with a 0 blitz probably in his face when we go team compete. I mean, like, he's seen everything, right? We're 3 down, we're 4 down, we're bare, that's very similar. So, but at the end of the day, when you face a well-coached team, you're going to see things that you haven't seen before, and it's really about your ability to get back to the sideline, talk to your coaches, stay in the moment, and just say, hey, we've prepared for everything, but this is something we haven't prepared for. But yeah, I mean, our defense is difficult because we don't have any man clues, right? Like, our corners take one when they play man, like, so we can't tell who it is, and Dylan has to see a lot of things post snap, and I think that helps him.
Dylan's, I mean, it's a loaded question. Dylan's,
glad you said that.
Overall quarterback acumen help you sort of rest easier in a game like this, before a game like this. Just as overall, you always talk about having at the line of scrimmage and prepared.
No, I think it's a great question. I don't think it's a loaded question. I think when you have a quarterback that is going to get you out of bad plays and let you call plays, right? Like there's a great clip of Tom Brady talking about it, and I remember sending it to all of our quarterbacks. If I'm going to run outside zone into a free safety blitz, it's, open side outside zone into a free safety blitz, it's not going to work. So don't do it. And how many plays in college football can you throw away? You don't want to throw away a lot of plays. So having a quarterback who, whether you say, hey, 19 want to kill it to 18 support, but if you get to, but now with the headset, so you can have the checks built in, but Dylan knows, hey, I'm running, I'm going to run outside zone to the left. And if the corner's coming, if the free safety's coming, I'm going to use my cadence. I'm going to try to see if they're coming. If they're coming, I'm going to go to this play. Like, he knows all the problems. And so I think it just allows the play caller to call plays knowing he'll get him in the right play. So you're not always worried about worst case scenario. I mean, it was 3rd and 1 last game. And we took a play action shot. And we tried to hit the post, and we ran into the corner, kind of got in our way. We ran in the corner, and we hit Mills on the Cortez, hit Tezzi on the sail route for like a 20-yard gain. The fact that he's mature enough to get to the second one is great. there's a play we throw the old dagger concept, and number one, Isaiah runs a great route. Their corner sees it, and he drives on it, and Emmett's wide open in the flat. And if you go back and watch the all-22, you'll see Dylan after he throws the ball, it gets incomplete. He's pointing to the tailback. He's mad at himself, like, I should have gone there. So, things are going to happen. Going back to your point, there's going to be a lot of things happen in the Big Ten. You're going to face significantly better teams than an FCS team. That's no disrespect to you. I think they're an excellent FCS team. We're going to face top 10, top 15, top 25 teams. It gets a lot harder. But, that's why I said we won 5 of our last 6. We can't control who we've played. You know what I mean? Like you could sit there and say, well, Matt, how many of those were both? I'm with you. We just play who was in front of us. They've done some good things. We have to do better things moving forward. But I think he's playing high level.
And was coming in as a freshman. How much more comfortable is he than in this situation a year ago going into his first game in the Big Ten? In the situation that Underwood is in coming here this week?
Yeah, I can't speak on anyone else other than Dylan, but I'll just say, like, to your point, like, everything Dylan went through last year was for the first time, right? So it was like, here's my first time, Big Ten opener as a freshman. Here's my first time. We had the amazing atmosphere of the Colorado game, which was an epic atmosphere. So we had that first, but we had all those things. The thing, each person, though, they have an innate internal motivation and competitive drive. And I remember saying in a press conference last year, like, Dylan was throwing after practice, and he was like play faking and throwing it. And he was practicing the throw against Illinois when, Luke ran down the middle of the field on 3rd down and we didn't connect it. And he was like, that'll never happen to me again. And it's those guys who are driven by the adverse. A lot of guys, the adversity hits, they don't want to think about it. It's just too painful. They go to find people who will tell them, hey, don't worry about it. The great ones are driven by that kind of stuff. And so, but yeah, I think it's, it was difficult. This will be game 17 for him. He's game 16 for him coming up, 16. We played 13 last year. He played 3 this year so far. So this will be game 17. Dylan will just get better and better and better. And, we haven't had to go down in 2 minutes to win a game that matters, and we had 2 minutes for the half. That was not him. That's us as an offense. So it's about going, I bet you he's up there right now. If he's not in class, I bet you he's up there right now, just chasing edges. He sent me a text, on Saturday after the game. He sent me a text, and it was him, his whiteboard at his house or apartment, wherever he lives. And it was Michigan, and he was already starting to draw up the stuff. So, he'll be prepared.
Hey, how's it been having Phil Snow back in the fold and working with you over the last 9 months in the first 3 games?
It's amazing. Outside of my own father, I don't know, who's had more of an influence on me in coaching. And I can say, obviously Coach Paterno, I can, obviously say Tom Coughlin, those guys, but I don't think anyone's had a bigger influence on me than Phil. And so just, you can say it's this part of coaching, that part of coaching. For me, it's just walking into his office and just getting a little bit of knowledge. So I remember Susan was like, he has the office next to Susan. And I remember her saying to me, don't ever move Phil, because he's just knowledge and wisdom with no agenda. You walk by, you always see players in there, because he will. I said something to Deshaun last week. I said, I hope Deshaun will be okay with me saying this. I said, hey, I want this play from you. I want, this is my standards here. And he said, yeah. He goes, and then Coach Snow wants this, And I was like, right, but is it working? Deshaun Singleton's playing some of his best football right now, but he's got Phil, who, like, no matter how hard you play, he's going to say you're not playing hard enough. No matter how detailed you are, he's going to say you have to be more detailed. But he backs it up and he lives by it. So having him, make no mistake, I think that was something that I needed personally, just having that sounding board. And he will. I mean, I just can't tell you. I mean, he came up to me in the middle of camp. And he's like, "You're not tough anymore. You used to be so much tougher. And, you're not showing sheet plays anymore. You're not." And he was right. He was right. So you need people like that who keep you honest.
Players after the game on Saturday kind of talk about how you viewed the first 3 games as like a quote unquote preseason, maybe just unintentionally. How does that maybe kind of factor into their mindset now starting the Big Ten?
Yeah, it was the preseason. I mean, it was we're trying to train them for the NFL. Doesn't mean your standards any lower. It just means that, like, we want to win the Big Ten. Every team wants to win the Big Ten in the Big Ten. And so they only base it based off of your Big Ten games. That doesn't mean it's okay to lose it. That's not, we're still competing, right? It's just, my point was, you're facing an inferior opponent. But like talk about Johnny Bullock, right? John made the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Why? Because of what he did every day at practice. Now, if he had a mindset of like, it's just practice, or if in the last preseason game 3, if he was like, that's just a preseason game, he wouldn't have made the team. But he made the team because he went out and played on 4 special teams. And so, to me, I want our guys, instead of saying, why am I not getting these opportunities? You have to establish your identity on the team. When you have a chance, you have to go make good plays. Just think about how TJ Lateef and what he's done. Like when he's gotten his opportunity, he's played well. So now when his opportunity, he's going to have an opportunity. We'll have so much confidence in him. Not that we didn't before, but because he's attacked everything. And so I think that's been the mindset for us is we don't want to play, we don't want to, we're playing an FCS school. It's a nameless, faceless opponent. The true opponent, we can't control how good the other team is. They might be here. They might be here. The true opponent's ourselves. And am I playing to my standard? And so we believe that. We don't just believe that when we're playing the FCS schools, but then we're going to go out there and play a ranked team and be like, no, I would change that now. We're in year 3. The guys have to understand that it's not about any of that. Like we can't have the stuff we had happen last year happen. So one standard and it's us. And so that was just kind of the mindset of that.
Matt, coming out of camp, did you have some feeling the pass defense could be elite this year, or how do you kind of judge those results so far?
Yeah, I think when I saw, talk about what Sierra Wright did last week. He moved from corner and he slid inside and played nickel. And that's not because we don't think Jameer is an excellent. Jameer went out there and played really well too. It was just Donovan Jones has been playing so well, playing the dime, playing outside. Marquise Buford's playing excellent football. When Malcolm went down, Sierra said, hey, Sierra knows how to do that. He went and slid inside, and Donovan's really comfortable when he's outside. He likes to get physical with receivers. So I think we felt that way. Like Rex Guthrie's probably our most, we had an NFL executive come in the other day and he asked me, he said, hey, who's 21? I said, Emmett. Emmett's, and he was like, no, on defense, who's 21? And I'm like, oh, Rex. He's like, yeah, I love the way he moves. And so Emmett's obviously a pro too. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like, you always go to the older guy first, but we got some guys who can really play. And John's doing a great job of getting them in different packages. I think Addison's demeanor is perfect for DBs. Like he's got like this calm but demanding demeanor. And so you have John, who's been in the NFL for a long time. You have Addison, who's an elite DB coach. You have Snow working with the safeties. You have Adam working. So we have a lot of resources there. But I just would say Marquise Buford is one of the best leaders I've been around in my time. Like he's old school. He is not afraid. He is not afraid to get after you. And he's also, if he's wrong, he will take it. He's not wrong very often, obviously, but he's not one of those guys. Some guys just want to lead when it's convenient. Deshaun Singleton's an excellent football player. I would say, like, what means a lot to me is the level of buy-in we've gotten from Sierra. The way Sierra is one of the smartest guys I've coached. He's an unbelievable football brain and unbelievable, just even socially and personally. Like he's got a true sense of justice and what's right, And so I love him. So. He's someone like you have to explain to him why you're doing things and he'll do it for you. But I'm saying he's bought into it. And I think Sierra coming over to like, hey, I'm a Husker has been such a pivotal thing because the players respect him so much. He's a captain, he's a single digit. And then I think Marshall, I think he's you think about what Andrew's done, like coming from Idaho, coming to here. He was really well coached in Idaho. That Coach Eck. That guy's a real, he's at New Mexico now. That guy's a real guy. His DB coach, I believe, was a Husker. So that was one of the ties, when he came here. So, he had a chance to go anywhere he wanted. He came here. Either he coached here, maybe. I'm sorry. One of you guys will figure it out. What? Yeah, and then Dan went to be like, okay. So thank you for that. But yeah, Marsh is a competitor. And so then you throw Donovan Jones, what he is. So I think we have really good players. I think they've bought in. I think the coaching's been really good. I couldn't coach defensive backs. I wouldn't let myself coach youth defensive backs. I don't know anything about it, right? So but I know what good coaches look like, and I think we have good coaches, and the buy-in from those guys is elite.
Why you say calm but demanding for a DB's coach? Why is that?
Because if they blitz if we blitz in a game, and Dylan gets sacked. Even I had to say, who was that? Well, maybe the running back didn't scan back for the corner. When you're playing DB and you get beat, everybody knows it. There's no place to hide, right? And so, especially in our defense. So as a defensive back, there's so much pressure on you. You can run the wrong route at receiver and no one knows. You play the wrong coverage at DB, everyone knows. So there's just nowhere to hide, right? And so I think they live in a world of just so much pressure, not pressure in a bad way, just like every play is a touchdown if they don't do their job. That they have to have a confidence and a swagger, and then they have to have people behind them, that are coaching them, but coaching them the mental part of it too, not just the physical part at a really high level. And so I've always had great secondary coaches. I had Fran Brown, the head coach of Syracuse, great coach. I obviously had Phil Snow. I had Fran, and then I had Coop, who's now doing a great job at Florida State. And then now we had John. John's been in the NFL for a long time, and now Addison's right in that mix. And I think all of those guys, they work on the mental side of the game, because we would never know if a wideout had it in there or not. But if a DB gets beat, I tell you what, if they hear it from me, they hear it from everybody. And so it's just such a different position.
Your program, is he somebody you knew about?
Yeah, I remember
before you
exactly. At the time, we had a couple kids committed to us that were really good track athletes. So I would like read the track times every week to see who was running fast. And I said, there's a kid at Lincoln. Was he Lincoln? He was Lincoln High, right? So there's a kid at Lincoln High that ran 10.4 or 10.5. I said, who is it? And so like I remember calling Keith and Ed, and they called over the coach, and he had moved in as a senior, and then he hadn't signed anywhere. And so he was looking at some places, but he decided, so he came to our camp in the summer. We did like a portal camp, but it's really a post-grad camp. And we weren't planning on doing a portal camp. I remember seeing Coach Sanders over at Colorado did a portal camp. I was like, that's brilliant. Steal that. So we put out our camp. And he came over and he worked out for us, and he ran 4.4, and he was dynamic. I mean, if you watch the tackle of him running down on kickoff, I mean, I'll show it to our whole team, and he is flying down the field and does not break stride, makes a tackle at the 15-yard line. So he's just kind of been waiting his turn. But the good thing is, he's found some roles, and he's doing a good job. Caught the ball at the backfield, returned to kickoff. But I mean, he's a 10-400 meter kid, that's tough. And he was right here in Lincoln. We just didn't know about it. But thankfully, thanks to the newspaper people in here for posting those things.
How about Archie on the victory formation? Yeah. Whose idea was that?
That was mine. There's only 10 guys out there, though. I told Archie a couple times. I said, hey, if you don't punt, I said before the game, I said, if you don't punt, you're going in on victory. He's like, just stand back there. I was like, yes, just stand back. And so then we pulled out the running back, and the running backs were there. If you watch it, if you watch the All-22, it's kind of cool because he has a cool little clap at the end, like he's pretty happy. So, but we're gonna, like I said, it's coming. The Big Ten is here. We've got a ranked opponent. We're gonna need he's a weapon. We're gonna need him to be ready to go. And so it's good to get him in, though. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Just stand back there. Is that all? Yeah. All right. Was that worth it to get the Rhule Australian accent at the end of that?
I think it was.
I think it probably was too.
That's what we were waiting for.
Nice job. Just a little over 30 minutes this time. Very normal. Very normal.
Totally.
Now we're going to send you back out to Memorial Stadium for the entirety of Fred Hoiberg's press conference. Go ahead, Josh.
All right, Fred.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
No. Oh, okay.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to go back out to Memorial Stadium. But there was Matt Rhule in his Monday press conference. Conspiracy theory from Theo.
Hi, Theo.
Someone is pressuring radio stations to air Rhule's press conferences. This is on every station right now. Well, we figure, we do a little math, as we plan out how our shows are going to look. And the math is this. People would probably rather listen to Matt Rhule do a 30-minute segment about the football team, considering he's a pretty good source on the football team, than hear me talk about the football team or what your bowling score might be if you get 3 strikes in the first 5 frames.
30.
And so we just it's a quick calculation. We're like, you know what? I think we'll just play the press conference. That math has held up for a while. I actually think the radio stations, the big bosses, would prefer that we didn't play the press conferences.
You think so?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
I mean, they're paying us to talk.
Yeah. But don't worry, Theo. No conspiracy theory here. We make the decision. Actually, I make the decision.
That's right.
Completely and solely. So this is on me. If you ever get annoyed at some of the things that Matt Rhule is saying and you hear it too much, or he says he stammers too much. What did he have today? He was like, no. He said it like 8 times in a row.
He was definitely trying to come up with the name Bryce Underwood and couldn't. At one point.
That was it. Yeah. That's on me. That's on me. All right, let's take a break. We'll get to some of the things that he mentioned in that press conference. Also, we'll take a look around college football. We finally have time for you, an open hour here of sorts. So we'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
At Sid Dillon Chevrolet, get employee pricing on over 200 select Chevys. Shop at Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer group or at SidDillonChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Hey, it's Happer here for Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. And best of all, you can play right now inside of the great state of Nebraska. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether you like your favorite players to go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. And there's even season-long entries that you can take a look at as well and play along all season long. And if you get your picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the app today and sign up with promo code HAPPER1620 to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code HAPPER1620. Millions of fans have already done this, and they've won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Host Coffee is on a mission to invigorate every workplace with a blend of bold flavors and unforgettable service, creating moments with our coffee, water, and food services that spark joy, productivity, and connection. Call Host Coffee today.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Husker Review Monday is powered by McKinnis Roofing and Sheet Metal. Looking for trusted experts to protect and enhance your home or business? We are McKinnis, Nebraska and Iowa's go-to choice since 1981. For commercial or residential projects, trust McKinnis Roofing and Sheet Metal. Visit McKinnisinc.com today.
Start now, pay later at Croc Center Omaha. There's something for all ages at the Croc, from an indoor water park for kids to fitness programs for parents to art classes for seniors and more. Sign up now to become a member at the Croc. They'll waive the processing fee and you won't pay anything until November. Start getting stronger, start learning something new, start having fun right now. Croc Center Omaha is just moments away from the Kennedy Freeway and Q Street. Go to omahacroc.org for more information. That's omahakroc.org.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Husker Review Monday is powered by McKinnis Roofing and Sheet Metal. Looking for trusted experts to protect and enhance your home or business? We are McKinnis, Nebraska and Iowa's go-to choice since 1981. For commercial or residential projects, trust McKinnis Roofing and Sheet Metal. Visit McKinnisinc.com today.
Cross Strain Brewing Company, the official sponsor of One Beer Friday on 1620 The Zone, where beer is Nebraska fresh, never boring, and always evolving. Find them at the original location in La Vista, at their DraftWorks location downtown, or at crossstrainbrewing.com.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
People say we make fun of people too much on this show. Josh,
Connor,
tell me about Stuart Mandel's latest tweet.
Stuart Mandel just put out a burner on Twitter. September 27th, kickoff times are rolling out. You'll be working the remote hard that night. Alabama, Georgia, ABC, and Oregon, Penn State, NBC are on at the same time.
That's actually very simple. There's a variety of different options here, actually. Number one, I will watch whichever game is better.
Sure. Sure.
There's a high, because this is college football after all, there's a high likelihood that both of those games actually suck.
It's incredibly possible.
So that's one part of this.
Have you
thing.
seen Alabama play this year?
The second part is I think the part that Josh actually wanted to make fun of. Are you more mad at the Stuart Mandel tweet, or are you more mad at the people responding, well, I have 2 TVs. I have a 2 TV setup, so not a problem for me. What do you think? Which one's worse, Josh? grunt the problem.
The responses.
Yeah.
TV setup, quad box.
All the people with 2 TVs love talking about their 2 TVs.
How do you know a guy's got 2 TVs in his basement? Don't worry, he'll tell you.
He will. He will. That's true. Have you heard about my 2 TVs?
Have you heard about Josh's 3 TVs?
Have you heard about the 3 TVs?
I'm actually not mad at Josh in this instance.
I'm
He's
not-
just the face of
No, but
problem.
It's just really. I'm not mad at anyone. It's just really easy to make fun of because you're right. It's pretty consistent across the board. The people with 2 TVs love talking about how many TVs they have. They do. And Josh is not exempt from that. He's not. Josh is not. I'm not. Don't put it on the internet that I'm mad. But it's it's very very funny. All right. So Matt Rhule's Monday press conference, he was indeed asked about his trip to Vegas. He said that he asked the team if it would be okay. Hey, the optics might kind of be weird on this or whatever. Do you care if I go? Do you care if I hop on the PJ? And his team was apparently supportive, and they said basically, yeah, I mean, you have access to the PJ. You want to take your wife out for her birthday, by all means. We're not going to be mad at you. We're not going to begrudge you for that. Just be back at work tomorrow. I love that. I love that dynamic that he seems to be growing with his team and in between him and his players. Hey, is this okay? I just want you guys to know this beforehand. That's actually kind of cool. There's a special kind of trust and a bond there that a fatherly almost type of relationship. Is this okay? This is a good idea for me. Tell me what's cool and what's not cool. Players are really good at optics. They understand that stuff. What was the call about, Josh? Some guy had 2 TVs?
No, he okay,
We make fun of Matt Rhule too much?
No, I'll just say what he said, and then everyone can
react
how they're going to react.
This is a caller who called in and just said this to Josh.
He said, I record the games on Cox Cable, and then I can jump back and forth between the commercials from the last point I left off.
That is another possibility that you have while watching games at the same time.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
You don't have to have Cox TV to have it. Yeah, I do that on YouTube TV.
You don't have to.
Whatever.
Yeah. You can watch games however you'd like to watch the games. People take great pride in the way.
Oh, everybody's got a system.
The way that they consume the games. Josh is watch all of the games on Big and 60 the next week. It's a great way to do it.
Just the Big Ten games.
It's a great way to do it. I just watch whatever game is the best at whatever given time, unless Nebraska's on. But side note, if they are playing Houston Christian, I will probably just go do something else during the game because I feel like I could use my 3 hours of time a little bit better. Now,
there needs to be a quicker way.
Some people might argue that I didn't use my time better on Saturday in the time where I would have been watching the game on my couch.
Pumpkin patch?
Should I let them decide? Oh, they're not going to like this. The people are not going to like this.
You do what you want to do, Connor.
Thank you, Josh. I appreciate your support.
I'm worried about what happens if you tell them.
No, I'm going to tell.
Okay.
Because I'm proud of it. I am.
Okay.
I know I'm sick. But here's what I did. I did the math in my head. I said, it's 11 o'clock. It's an 11 o'clock game. And there's a very high likelihood that I won't have to really fully watch this game. I watched what I needed to watch when I got home on Saturday night. I did not watch it live. What I did instead was I took an opportunity to go down to the Chuck Box and see my friends from Creighton baseball do an inter-squad scrimmage.
Honk, honk.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I bettered myself professionally, and watched the Jays on Saturday. And I was already going to go down to downtown because there was a volleyball game after that anyway. So I figured it's the perfect time for me to stop by. I wanted to show my face at Creighton's baseball practice. I learned a lot.
What
watch some dudes throw it.
did you learn?
Watch some dudes hit it. I learned a lot about a lot of things. I learned a new Elton John song. Yeah.
Okay.
Coach was telling me about this Elton John song he had never heard before, and I was like, what is it? And then he sent it to me, and then I listened to that. It was great.
When did it come out? Is it new?
Oh, it came back during Elton John's time.
The heyday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you think, Josh? What do you think about the way that I watched the game? Do you have any takes?
I guess it's more than I did.
Oh, now people are calling. They're going to be so bad. Just wait till tomorrow. Just tomorrow's going to be such a bad day for me.
The volleyball.
I am going to have a ton of fun, for the record. I am going to have a ton of fun. I cannot wait till tomorrow night at the volleyball game. But people are going to be yet again reminded about the honking and the things of that nature. And, last time this happened, and it wasn't nearly as bad. The last time this happened, I got memed. Okay? You don't want to get memed, Josh.
You do not want to get memed.
All right. So last time this happened, I got memed. This is going to be this is going to be to a different level tomorrow because I don't think people, they don't get it. They're like, what? What's this guy doing? I've seen him before. He talks about the Huskers on the radio. So I was just
That's the host of Locked On Nebraska.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a bad couple of days.
What do you think is going to be worse, Tuesday or the day after?
The day after.
Okay.
Yeah. The day after.
Yeah, I would think so.
Here's Eric in Milwaukee.
Hi, Eric in Milwaukee.
Anything Creighton related is always a better use of time than anything UNL related. That's just a take.
Whoa.
That's just a take from Eric in Milwaukee. Jason writes in on the other side.
Okay. Hi, Jason.
Says going to the Creighton inter squad game might be the most honk move ever.
That's why I hit him with the triple honk.
Well,
ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't know if there was going to ever be a time where I had a chance to stop by and see him practice.
I believe you have an open invitation.
I do. But I
guess, okay, what time do they practice?
All my days are taken up.
Sure.
And they were scrimmaging, right? So you got to catch them on a day where they're playing. I'll probably have
I'm curious what you learned.
That Elton John song.
You going to use that in a broadcast?
A lot of stuff. How guys are doing, how their summers were, how hard this guy's throwing, how hard this guy's throwing, how it's coming along. Schedule stuff, just a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
You going to the box?
Well, Creighton is. I don't know if I'm going.
You better. I want that for
I'm
you.
not in control of that, but I would love to. Let's take a phone call. This is Nebraska Ball Mike on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline. Hi, Mike.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Matt Rhule can talk to anybody, can he?
He really can. He's comfortable everywhere.
He is, and he knows what he's got to do this week, and he's going to keep the boys focused, and we're going to show up Saturday and do the best we can. I wanted to call in because I haven't heard anybody all day mention something very interesting and important to Omaha also. We didn't just have Saturday night. We had a little bit of Sunday night, too. Omaha landed in Atlanta and landed in the NFL. Xavier Watts got his first interception.
That's right. Yeah. Yes, he did. Excellent. A great point.
So, I wanted to shout him out, even though he wore a different helmet in college. We always support our own, and he did a wonderful job, and that's one of many.
I agree, Mike.
He'll make his mark.
I haven't talked about this. I feel ashamed for not mentioning that the X-Man had a pick last night.
We always got to support our own, man, no matter where they are.
It's a great point. I agree. Some people might disagree with that, but I agree.
Put us both in the Burke High Hall of Fame, cowards.
He made it.
He made it.
That's a big deal.
No doubt. Thank you, Mike.
All right.
It's a great thing to mention. Shout out to Xavier Watts.
Waiting for that call, Burke.
I think they'll put Xavier Watson first.
Really?
Yes.
Seems like we're both running a parallel course in success.
Dave writes in on YouTube.
Hi, Dave.
If Connor had 2 TVs, he would not have gone to the baseball practice. If I would have last week gone through all the work of putting up 2 TVs in my house and, setting up, you're probably right. I probably wouldn't have. But I wouldn't put 2 TVs in the same location in my house. I just wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't?
No, I don't. The only time that I've ever done that is for the NCAA basketball tournament.
You love watching as many games as possible at the same time.
Do I? Is that a thing that I love? Because I don't.
Oh yeah, you
I don't
love
think that's Red
Zone. You love
Red Zone's on one channel. Red Zone's on one channel,
Yeah.
Josh, and it takes me seamlessly from game to game while still understanding all of the things that have happened in the game that you are watching. Thank you, Scott Hansen. It's one channel, Josh. One channel. It changes the channel for me. There's no duplicate of that.
Okay.
Except for college baseball squeeze play.
You love college baseball.
I do like college baseball. I like watching all the regionals. That's for sure.
Is there an inter-squad scrimmage squeeze play? Let me call Matt Schick. Hey, Schicky boy, this is what you need to do.
I don't think so. Creighton and Omaha are going to scrimmage each other, though, in baseball.
You going to go to that?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if I'll have time.
Oh.
I don't know if I'll have time.
Are Maddie and Tay coming back?
Eventually. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Probably not, actually. I don't know. There you go. That's how I watched the game. How did we get on that? How did you watch the game? Oh, yeah, because Josh was triggered about the Stuart Mandel
tweet. Oh, yeah, let me check how Stuart's doing. Yeah. Stupot, how you doing?
Stupot. Also, yes, at the end of the Matt Rhule press conference, we got a Australian accent from Matt Rhule impersonating. Imagine a coach who would do something as mean as make fun of one of his players.
He's so mean.
That's just as bad as us calling Dylan Raiola Dylon.
It's just immature.
It's just, yeah.
Infantile.
Yep. And sometimes, we make note that Matt Rhule says the same word like 7 times in a row. I don't think Matt Rhule has a stutter, for the record. I think Matt Rhule his brain works faster than his mouth can catch up with sometimes. So he says the same word over and over again while he's looking for the word.
It's a supercomputer up there.
That's right. There's a lot of stuff going on. So people are like, "Oh, you make fun of Rhule because he's got a stutter." First of all, that's not what we're doing, and I don't think that's what's happening either. So thank you. Thought we'd clarify that as well.
Good clarification.
I appreciate that. Okay. We can actually get into the things that we liked from the game. I'll tell you this. I liked one big picture item that I saw that was displayed in full by Nebraska on Saturday against Houston Christian. The players and the plays, very few things to take away from it. But big picture, I thought Nebraska showed something important on Saturday. I'll tell you what that is after this on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on The Crossover.
Well, we went to Gary Dolphin's bar.
Gary
Dolphin's got a bar?
Yeah, it's called Gary Dolphin's Bar.
That's incredible.
I had no idea.
I love that.
We got to remember that.
It's in Dubuque. We parked in Gary Dolphin's parking spot for Gary Dolphin's bar.
You did.
Oh, Happer, you could have gotten your car towed.
No. We just would have had a nice conversation with Gary Dolphin.
Gary and Matt, The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7.
Staying warm to start the week Monday. Expect mostly sunny skies throughout the day. Breezy at times with south wind gusting up to 20 miles per hour. Can't rule out a stray shower south of the metro later in the day, though most stay dry. Highs in the upper 80s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Call Moose Roofing. The Moose knows how to roof.
Redefine your luxury shopping experience at Genesis of Southwest Omaha. Save up to $5,000 off MSRP on the 2025 Genesis GV 83.5 Turbo Prestiges and up to $4,000 off MSRP on the 2025 Genesis GV 82.5 Turbo models with approved credit, tax, title, license extra, with qualifying Conquest $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires September 30th, 2025.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
I have a request for Michigan on Saturday.
A request?
Yeah, so last time they were here, they wore the maize pants with the white tops, which is the correct Michigan road uniform. All right. 2 times ago when they were here in 2021, they wore all whites. And I remember going down to the field and I was super disappointed. I was like, what? Come on. You got classic jerseys. Wear them.
Use them.
Use them. So wear the maize pants with the white jerseys and the regular old wingtip helmets on Saturday.
Yeah, wear that Delaware
And, like,
helmet.
you could wear it to get beat.
Oh, hello.
Last time they were here wearing the maize pants, they met very little resistance.
Sunday practice.
Sans for a Joshua Fleek's 70-plus yard touchdown run to get Nebraska not shut out in that game.
Appreciate
2021, when they came here, they met a little bit of resistance, but still won the game. And then they came. I remember the one time they came here, and so everybody remembers the Joe Bauserman game when Joe Bauserman was hucking it in the stands. Can I interest you in a guy by the name of Russell Bellamy? They had a guy, it was like second or third string quarterback that year, Russell Bellamy. He was basically he was the same thing. He was horrible. Just chucking the ball into the stands. Nebraska getting out of there with a win as well. Okay, so back to Saturday here real quick. So I don't have much to say about the game from a team perspective. It's great. Nebraska's through conference season, non-conference at 3-0, something they haven't been able to say a lot lately. They've won what now? I believe it's 9 straight non-conference games, which is very, very good. Something they haven't done in quite a long time as well. So some of these streaks of like, hey, you haven't done this in quite a long time. And of course, Nebraska's looking to break its 28-game losing streak against ranked opponents this upcoming Saturday. So some of these streaks of futility are actually, they could be broken. They're starting to get broken again. The streaks of futility, which came immediately after the streaks of like awesomeness. Streaks of awesomeness straight to streaks of futility, and now maybe we could go straight back into streaks of awesomeness again. So we'll see what happens on Saturday. So there's not much to say about the game. Nebraska did their job. Everything checked out. They looked good again. Matt Rhule was mad that Williams Winery picked the ball up with one hand. I thought it was awesome. I think he should do it again. Honestly, I thought it looked really cool. I thought it looked like imposing, Riley Van Poppel gets the sack, balls on the ground. Here comes Winery. He's in the perfect place. He kind of just bear claws it with one hand. He's also kind of getting his balance a little bit as well. And he's got that thing kind of flying out for a little bit. And Matt Rhule's like, hey, you got to put the ball away. He's like, yeah, I know, my bad. I think he should do it again. Pick the ball up with one hand more. It looks cool.
Okay.
And I'm all about what looks cool.
You are.
I am. I'm all about style points, Josh. But outside of the individual play, we got some good things from some young guys. Latif looked good again. Cortez Mills really showed up. A few guys on the defensive side of the ball as well. How about Rex Guthrie getting that shout out after or today in today's press conference?
I think Rex Guthrie might be the player the coaching staff loves talking about most.
You might be right. You might be right. They're trying to do that with Dylan right now too, because they don't think Dylan is getting enough respect nationally, which he's probably not. But yeah, hey, NFL scout came up to me. He was like, "Who's number 21?" He was like, "Emma Johnson." No, Rex Guthrie,
the other 21.
Rex Guthrie. He did show up for sure. I mean, he was all over the place each of the last 2 Saturdays, and he's in their regular rotation anyway. But a young guy who hasn't really made his full impact felt yet. Maybe that will happen as the year continues to go on. But yes, he's getting some props right now. So there was a few of those in the game. But I was most impressed as a team by the idea that, it looked every bit as clean as it did last week against Akron. I thought Nebraska would kind of just
I thought it'd be a little sleepier.
I thought they'd sleepwalk through it, really. And I wasn't worried about them losing. I just thought they'd sleepwalk through it. I think it took a lot of, I don't know, like, you got to be ready to go. Like, there's some maturity that goes into that. The same thing we talked about with Dylan after that first game, where just the maturity of just taking the layup after layup after layup after layup every time. It might not look that cool. It might not look like Winery picking up the ball with one hand and running with it for a little while. It might not look that cool, but it's super effective. And I think it shows something that's more important, right? So Rhyle's ability to just continually just pound the check down, bang, 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 like Colt Ryan coming off a corner, coming off of curl screens for Evansville, just nonstop. I'm going to hit him with them again, hit him with again, hit him with again. But Nebraska's ability to come out and dominate a garbage can again, and I know they have a lot of respect for that program or whatever, but it's not on the same level. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. It looked easy. And let's face it, there's been a lot of games against teams like that. I mean, the last time Nebraska put an FCS team last year against Northern Iowa, it did not look that easy. 2 times ago when Nebraska played a North Dakota, an FCS team, the coach literally said going into halftime, it's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad. Right? It was bad. It is. It doesn't always look that easy. And so not only for Nebraska to actually make it look easy against Akron, but to also come back and have it look easy again for the second time in a row after everybody tells you how good you are the first time. There's a lesson to be learned there. There's like an emotional maturity to that is important to me. What does it mean for their upcoming game against Michigan? Not much, other than Nebraska actually feels good inside that locker room, and they have experienced being the bully for 2 consecutive weeks now. They'll have to take that attitude into Michigan, knowing that they're going to get some resistance this time. But that's a place where the program is unfamiliar with being. Talking about the streaks of futility. The streaks of futility have included just, I mean, there's no defined numbers on this, but it don't look right. You know, Nebraska's just had those games against Group of 5 teams and against FCS teams where you just say, yeah, they got out of there with a win and maybe the score looked okay, but it don't look right.
Mm-hmm.
It don't look right. Both these games looked right. And yes, of course, some of it is due to the quality of competition that you're playing, but Nebraska's played worse teams than that before and not controlled it the way they did. So I think there's a depth piece that goes into it too. Those guys have got their feet wet. That is important. And they can feel confident in what they're doing when they go out onto the field. And if they should be thrust into an important play in big moments, it's not all new. It's not all brand new. Because there's just some stuff that you can't learn unless you play in a football game. You learn the pace and you learn, the speed. You can't learn it unless you actually play in a game. And Nebraska has gotten a lot of things to go their way over the last 2 weeks. Not a lot of bad things have happened.
Right.
I mean, I think they lead the nation in pass defense.
Hello.
I haven't checked. I don't have the notes yet, and I haven't checked the numbers exactly. But it's got to be close because they've not allowed 70 yards passing in any game.
That's right.
This year, it's very good. I know Max. We talked about Max and his drive rate, or his stop rate earlier. Yeah, I mean it's right in that category. Only 4 opponent drives have ended in points so far this year.
That's very good.
Yes. 3 touchdowns and a field goal. Nebraska defensively, in 33 drives faced on the defensive side, more than a third of them are 3-and-outs. More than a third of the drives that they face are 3-and-outs. 12 3-and-out drives already so far this year. 36%. 3-and-out, not just punts, not just stops, not just not allowing points, but 3-and-out. That means 3 plays you get the ball back into your offense's hands. It gives you an opportunity to really, get all over opponents, which is something that they have absolutely done over these first 3 weeks of the season. And obviously it's inflated right now, but they've checked those boxes.
NCAA website, total defense, Nebraska's 6th.
What about pass defense? Passing yards against. I would assume it has to be probably number 1.
Passing yards allowed. Number 1.
Yeah, there you go.
Nebraska.
What a great guess by me.
Number 3, Scott Frost's UCF.
Oh, fun. They have dominated some tomato cans over the last couple games as well.
Have.
Nebraska offensively through 3 games has not had a 3-and-out, period.
I'll take that.
Yes. They've punted 4 times the entire year. They've scored 18 touchdowns offensively. It doesn't count the 1 defensive touchdown
That's
that
right.
they've had.
We got to start including that.
They probably haven't forced now going back to defense, they probably haven't forced like quite enough turnovers yet, but get the scoop and score. Obviously that helps. They've only turned the ball over 1 time on offense. The only nitpick is probably that they're not scoring at a high enough rate for how deep they get it into opponent's territory. They had another drive like that on Saturday. But I don't know. You're getting this is worrying you, Josh.
Yeah,
that might be something.
Might come back and go, oh, see, it was like that the whole time.
Okay. Could be. It could be. But there's very few things to pick at so far this year. Jeff writes in.
Hi, Jeff.
Small critique, but is Dylon's deep ball a problem? Saturday was a significant wind situation.
Yeah. Okay.
It was. There was a couple balls that flew out, and I'm like, why isn't he throwing spirals anymore? Like they came out of his hand like, that's a duck. He underthrew a guy on one of them and then got away with a catch on another one. I think Dylan, although he hasn't showed that a lot in his career so far, even though it was one of the things that everyone said about him coming out of high school, like he throws a great deep ball. I still believe that. He hasn't got a chance to show it off much, and I think that the guardrails will be off on Saturday, obviously against Michigan, so that's something to look forward to with Nebraska's wide receivers on the edge. But generally, I think like he possesses the touch and the kind of feel necessary to be able to put those deep balls in positions that are catchable. He didn't hit a lot of them last year, but remember they got a lot of PIs on defense. So
many.
Yeah. So not really. Not really. Not really. I know people want to nitpick Dylon, but I'm kind of done with that. I'm willing to live with the good and the bad from Mr. Dylon, and there hasn't been like any bad this year. Hasn't been any of that stuff. So obviously the game changes a little bit, as Rhule mentioned today, with better teams coming into town. It starts now. I just think this is a great chance to see where Nebraska's at. So we'll set the tone for that a little bit next, because I'm going to tell you why this is the most important game in the Matt Rhule era.
Ooh.
On 1620 The Zone.
After further review, the host is deemed to be out of bounds. The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Husker Review Monday is powered by McKinnis Roofing and Sheet Metal. Looking for trusted experts to protect and enhance your home or business? We are McKinnis, Nebraska and Iowa's go-to choice since 1981. For commercial or residential projects, trust McKinnis Roofing and Sheet Metal. Visit McKinnisInc.com today.
You know what else winning does? It's
Cures all, fixes everything.
100%, including people complaining about the uniforms.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of that. Actually, saw a lot of compliments.
I loved them, but I thought that I would love them.
Saw a lot of people saying it. Pop.
You know, as a hater of the red uniforms, Matt Rhule.
Yeah, he seemed like
Said if Penn State wore blue pants, I'd probably have to take some drastic measures. Something like that.
Oh, okay.
All right. You guys a traditionalist. He's a traditionalist with the uniforms. But the players decided that they wanted to do this, just like the Bud Crawford shirts that they wore on Saturday.
That was cool. That was, hey guys,
That
we're all
was
gonna
cool.
wear these. We're gonna support our guy.
Yeah,
because he supports us.
Well, and then there's a conversation about what happens next with Bud. I love everyone's collective ownership of Bud Crawford. You know, like he's a Husker.
He's our greatest Jasker.
He's Omaha's. He's a Creighton fan. He's, whatever. Everyone tries to talk about Bud as if, I don't know. It's odd sometimes, the conversation about what he is the most, Anyway.
Maverick.
Obviously.
I mean, you saw the trunk Saturday, Omaha,
obviously,
in that font.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
So then there's conversation about where he might show up next. If he does do where he shows up right now, by the way, is on Pat McAfee's show.
McAfee with Matt Rhule and Bud Crawford on a Monday.
I can't tell where he is. I don't know.
I hope that's not a picture that's hanging in Bud Crawford's house.
That looks like, is he still in Vegas though?
I'd get the hell out of there, but maybe he's got obligations that I wouldn't have.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure what he's setting up. I guess if I had to guess, it looks like he's still in Vegas by the stream that I'm watching right now. Maybe he said that on when he started on his McAfee interview here, which I'm sure AJ Hawk is asking really good questions.
Some hard-hitting journalistic questions.
Saturday, will he lead the Huskers out of the tunnel with his 100 belts?
He has to.
Yeah.
It seems like the Matt Rhule and company are trying to, I don't want to say manufacture because that implies that it's fake, but like,
I don't see how he doesn't. I don't see how he's not there. I don't know what his obligations are, but I imagine that there's some downtime immediately after a fight, especially a fight of that caliber.
I would think so.
Like, what else is he doing?
And that's something he would want to do, right? And he's at a point where he can say, I do things that I want to do.
And it's the game for it. It's not like it's not like they're playing Akron. It's not like they're playing Houston Christian. It's like, okay, this is the right time to do it also.
It seems like Matt Rhule is trying to make the Michigan game have the same atmosphere as the Colorado game from last year. And like, hey, can we do that for this
but he's
much
also,
more meaningful game?
He's also being very careful as to not
say exactly that.
Well, he's saying, because last year I felt like in the aftermath, they felt like they lost him a little bit after the Colorado game, after the second half of the Colorado game, meaning they put too many eggs probably into that basket.
You'd like to avoid the exhale.
Exactly. And I think they're trying to have that not happen this year. They've prepared themselves for this Michigan game, but it's a huge game, obviously. And but they're also trying to be like, hey, we also have a lot of games coming up after this, and we have to get better every week. So good. But yes, if you're going to blow it out, blow it out. If you're going to invite Bud, have him for this one. This is the biggest home game of the year.
It's the one.
And he's not, unless you count the Iowa game, which I don't know what they're going to be by that time. And Black Friday is always a weird day anyway, as far as, people showing up and all that. This is,
got to strike while the iron's hot.
You got good weather. He's a week after the fight.
Yep.
It's perfect. I don't, you would assume that the olive branch has already been extended. Like, hey, not just like doors open for you, Bud, but like
specifically.
we would like you to do this if you're interested.
We would like you to tell our players how you risked it all for greatness, because we want them to risk it all for greatness.
Yeah, risk it to get the biscuit. I'm sure he'll say that. The other thing that I threw out there on Twitter is maybe it's too quick of a turnaround, but what if he shows up at the greatest J-Sker party of all tomorrow night in downtown Omaha? If he could beat traffic.
If he could get a police escort.
If he could get a police escort, we could get him.
So,
and
that's a statement, right?
What does he wear? You know, but it's volleyball. It's a showcase of volleyball. They're going to set an attendance record tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to take back the indoor attendance record, regular season.
I don't know that they need it, but man, what a statement that would
That'd
make.
be pretty cool.
Bud Crawford showed up to the volleyball match.
Yeah,
like
this is the volleyball state, Josh.
Yeah.
Is it not?
It is.
He could take my job. He could say, "Cheer if you're for red team. Cheer if you're for blue team." You know, he could do that.
What if I know it's not Jay's Live, but what if you're Jay's Living with Bud Crawford tomorrow?
Well, we could do Jay's Live. I
don't know what you.
I asked briefly yesterday if we were going to do Jay's Live, and there was like, "Oh, maybe that's kind of a good idea." So maybe we will do Jay's Live.
Okay.
Maybe Bud could join Jay's Live.
Mm-hmm. And then you could say,
"But what color shirt will he be wearing?"
Remember when we did this all those years ago? Here's the photo.
Yes,
I had hair back then.
at the Fullerton Fun Walk. And it would be one of the first guests on Jay's Live that wasn't 9 feet taller than me.
That's right.
Which is awesome.
He'd have to wear a J-Sker jersey, right? And then get.
Yeah, I think he just wear like a normal shirt.
Dare the crowd to boo him.
Like a purple shirt or something like that. Text of the 531.
Hi, 531.
Off the uniform reaction. Text says people are still talking about Pantsgate, though. Yes.
Yeah, why is Dylan wearing last year's pants?
So is there. Is that?
I don't care,
I don't
but
know.
I would like an answer. I don't care. Do what you want to do. It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
I'd like an explainer.
Maybe they're just more comfortable.
That's probably what it is.
I don't know why they would be more comfortable.
Theoretically, they should be the exact same. Yes. Adidas, care to respond?
Well, maybe, he did lose some weight in the offseason. And
people forget.
Those pants were like, he felt like they were just worn in enough.
Okay.
Entirely
possible.
There's something about worn pants that
that's
feel good.
True.
Something about worn pants. Maybe he just likes his pants worn.
Poll question up at Happer Show. Is there something about worn pants?
Worn pants. I don't know. That's how it works for jeans. I don't know if that's how it works for football pants.
It definitely translates, right?
I don't think so. I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it against Akron, but after I heard about it and people had notified me of it last week, I did notice it for the Houston Christian game. That's for sure. Those stripes are quite a bit thicker than they were on this year's pants. All right. So let's take a break. We'll come back. Sam McKewon from the Omaha World Herald is going to join us, and we'll get into what to take away and what to look forward to for this upcoming week. Anything going on there, Josh?
That was the guy who remembered a preseason interview where the guys were talking about breaking in their pants.
Oh, okay. Maybe there is something to the whole pants thing. All right, we're sniffing around on Pantsgate.
I don't like that phrasing, but okay.
A good point.
For the California butt sniffer.
Sam McKewon joins next on 1620 The Zone. It is officially the most wonderful time of the year, Vala's season. This week's half-off deal is to Vala's Pumpkin Patch. Good anytime pass is $42.99, includes Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Pair of passes, $85.98. 2 prices for the pass of 1. Vala's is open daily all the way until November 2nd, 9 to 9. New attractions this year. Fireworks every Friday night at 9. Family fun activities, including the Barnyard Challenge course, the Pig Tucky Derby races, Derby pig races, and more. We have tickets, of course, this week. We have general admission tickets, not season passes anymore. We have general admission tickets this week. Or, of course, you can find the half-off deal going on sale Friday at 9/16/20thezone.com, and we'll have some ways for you to get your hands on some general admission tickets to the patch this year, where you can decide if you'd like to go the easy way or the squeezy way, whichever one you'd like to do.
You're all about the squeezy way.
And everybody always goes to that big chair. I don't care about the big chair. I go to the squeezy way. There's always a big line for the big chair.
Oh, yeah.
And so nobody is going through the easy way or the squeezy way, and I'm going the squeezy way. You know me. Every single time.
Every time. My man.
All right, so we'll see if we can get a hold of Sam, but,
he's
usually
busy.
He's a busy guy. Elsewhere in the Big Ten this week, and don't forget, we'll have Big Ten Power Rankings with Tiers coming up on Wednesday of the week.
Yeah, we will.
How about Deshaun Foster getting fired?
Ooh.
So
I get it, but
it has not started well for UCLA this year. He was like, what would you say his stock was after last year as a head football coach? Not necessarily that he was like going to go elsewhere and get another job, but as Matt said during the crossover, I couldn't have told you that coming off of last year that I was down on him. They kind of, found their way at the end of last year. They had a big win against Nebraska. They had a big win against Iowa after that. Lost close to USC, lost to Washington. And, they won what? 7? Well, they went 5-7 last year. But it was a horrible situation that they took over. Going into conference or going into the Rutgers game last year, they lost to Indiana, LSU, and then they lost to Oregon and Penn State to start things off, and then Minnesota as well. So they started 0-3, but they beat Rutgers, Nebraska, and Iowa 3 games in a row. And they were like, okay, this might be something that we're gonna see this out.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we got something here.
They get Nico Iamaliava.
Yeah.
And here's how they start this year. A 43-10 loss to Utah, a 30-23 loss to UNLV, and a 35-10 loss to New Mexico, which ended up being the nail in the coffin for Deshaun Foster over the weekend. 35-10, they got run up on 300 yards, I think it was 290, against New Mexico on your home field in front of what must have been 10 people for a 7 o'clock local time kickoff against New Mexico. And then the next day, it's like, yeah, I'm not sure we could go any further here. They are in a bad spot, a bad position. UCLA as a program, which is, it's hard to watch. Like they're one of the brands, one of the old school brands. It's tough to watch the spot that they're in right now.
If you would like to watch them, enter to win tickets to see Nebraska at UCLA on our website.
Yeah, the good part about that game is that you get to watch Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
And it's at the Rose Bowl, and you can watch the sunset behind the San Gabriel Mountain.
I hear it's beautiful.
Although we don't have a time for it yet. As we now welcome in Sam McKeown from the Omaha World Herald on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline. Sam, good afternoon. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you guys?
Good. What kind of position is UCLA in right now?
A bad one, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know that they have a ton of answers from a coaching perspective of guys that are going to be able to go in there and just kind of get it done right away. and whoever you bring in, you're bringing in for what amounts to a new era of college football. So like Tony White would be a great coach 11 years ago. I think now, Tony White's would have to go in there, and he'd have to have the NIL operation ready to roll, and he'd have to be able to do the revenue sharing and all that stuff. And that's stuff that you need an apparatus, you need a structure. So like UCLA's got to commit financially to football before really any coach can go in there and be successful, short of a kind of an old school, hey, we're just going to go in here and, win 6 games and be a tough out for everybody and not really have high goals. Because I think if you want to go in there and just kind of be tough, you can probably win 5 or 6. But all these ADs and all these presidents, they all want to win big. And to win big, you have to have the resources. And I think a lot of these teams just don't know what they're getting into. And so, when Foster kind of replenished the entire roster with all these transfer portal guys, well, that's all fine. But then you go play, Utah, and you play UNLV and New Mexico, and all these teams got players, and they can come in and beat your butt. And 2 of them got first-year coaches who are very motivated. And so, like, I just don't think those players were ready for what was coming at them. And, now Foster's gone, and now I think Tony White would be a great fit there, but not unless they give him the resources. And I think it's really questionable whether UCLA is going to commit.
No doubt. It's tough spot for any coach who's gonna take over that job. It's why Tony White turned it down the first time, right? He might get a call again on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was an argument to be made for Foster because all the players already knew him, so they weren't going to have a complete exodus. But the reality is, most coaches will tell you year 2 is harder than year 1. Because year 1, you can kind of come in and everybody will kind of change because they want to see what's going to happen. And then the guys that didn't really buy in year 1 are still kind of around in year 2. And that kind of happened with UCLA. And then they added a bunch of guys, and they, hindsight being 2020, adding a quarterback like that who didn't even practice with you in the spring was probably a mistake. And so now they got to completely start over. They might lose him. He might go. Certainly any coach that comes in is not going to be beholden to whatever he wants because he's not playing winning football. So it's going to be really interesting to watch. And it's probably not going to be the last coach in the Big Ten that's let go this year, but it's not surprising that it was the first.
Sam, is from your eyes through 3 weeks here, is Nebraska ready for, I guess, not only this year, from program perspective, are they ready to take on Michigan and what they're going to bring to the table and what that they're going to bring to the table on Saturday?
Yes, they are. They're ready to do it. I think it's still a team that needs to go do it, but they are ready. I think they've prepared in a way that's commensurate with winning a game like this. I think they have eliminated a lot of the stupid things that hurt them in the first couple of years of the Rhule era. Certainly the things that hurt them in the Frost era. They're no longer playing losing football. They're playing a lot more winning football. And sometimes, to borrow a tennis analogy, that's just getting the ball back over the net. Like, don't make unforced errors.
Yep.
And Nebraska's gotten a lot better at not doing that. And so Michigan will have to come in here, I think, and win the game. And if you're forcing Michigan to come in and win and make plays, then I think Nebraska stands a chance of winning. I think Nebraska needs to make one more play than Michigan. I think they can do that. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think Nebraska can win it.
Yeah, it's fascinating the run up. How confident do you feel like this group is, and what did the last 2 weeks do to serve that? Like how badly do you feel like they needed it, especially coming off that first week that was everyone left it a little bit like, I don't know what this is yet.
I think it boosted their confidence for sure. And it's one of those deals where, again, the teams that you're playing aren't very good, but if you can play to a certain standard and you can achieve what you wanted to achieve and cross off a lot of goals coming out of that game, players feel better about themselves and, they have a sense of belief. That's why scheduling is important. It's very important. And, UCLA has a history of scheduling too hard. They just do. And you can't You can't follow up a Utah with a UNLV on the road. Can't do it. Yeah, you got to be mindful of your scheduling, which is why, Rhule has come in, and even though maybe not everybody loved it, he's come in and changed the schedules because he understands what the team needs and what they need to do going into Big Ten play versus trying to prove how tough you are with your non-conference scheduling. The only people who care about non-conference scheduling are journalists.
Yeah.
That's the only people who care about that. So, and the College Football Committee has shown no interest in caring about it yet, and maybe they will, but they haven't so far. And so I think Nebraska did a good job in putting Akron and Houston Christian on the schedule.
Hey, how big, from a more global perspective, what would a win do for Nebraska football on Saturday?
That'd be huge. Yeah, it'd be the biggest win they've had in a while, probably since 2015 Michigan State. Maybe 2016 Oregon. So it'd be the biggest win they've had in a while, and we put them on the map, do it on national TV, and be able to say this is what we got done, and the energy and excitement it would create around the state, especially going into a bye week, would be significant. So you'd have kind of a 2-week party there. On the flip side of the coin, it'd be a 2-week hangover if they lose. So you really want to nail it this week. This is a big game, and if they can win it, I think Nebraska fans and the program in general you'll have a real chance of going into USC undefeated. You'll get Michigan State at home, then you get Maryland and Minnesota on the road, and then you get Northwestern at home, and there you got USC coming in on November 1st, and it's going to be a crazy game. So, that's what you want. And I think Nebraska can pull it off if they win this weekend.
Doesn't it just feel like, I'm sure we've said this 500 times throughout the last, I don't know. I guess you can go back to their losing streak against ranked teams. How many times where you've said, man, it's just time. It just feels like it feels like they're ready, and you just got done saying it feels like they're ready. Does it feel like Nebraska has the requisite kind of like momentum behind them and all of these things where you could say it's time that Nebraska finally does this and they get off all these different, futility losing streaks that they've been on against good teams over the past decade or so?
I do, Connor. Now, there's the old saying, it's time when it's time, but I do think it's time. And I do think they can do it. So, yeah, whether that's Michigan or that's USC or that's Penn State, those are probably the 3 ranked teams they're going to play, unless Minnesota goes on a run here. If it's not Michigan, it'll be USC. They're ready. It's time. And I think everybody knows it. They played a hell of a game last year against Ohio State when they had a moment there. So they got it. They got all the pieces. Now you just got to go do it. And my hunch is that when it happens, and it may not happen Saturday, but when it does, they'll kind of kick it down the way they did against Wisconsin. So this year, I think they're going to beat Iowa. I'm just saying that now. And I think they're going to kick the heck out of Iowa. That's what I think. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll say so. But I think this will be the year when they're like, the ghosts are gone. We're just going to go ahead and beat Iowa by 14, or 20. It won't be a, field goal. And so that may be what happens on Saturday. It's just time to end this stuff, and they go out and they win the game. They win it convincingly, and there's no questions. There's no questions to answer.
Have any of your concerns about Nebraska's defensive line, if you had any, have they been quieted over the last couple of weeks? Where does Nebraska stand up front on defense against a much bigger and physical team?
Oh, not really. No, we'll see. We'll see on Saturday. I think we'll learn a lot more on Saturday about that. I think that's the proving ground. I mean, Michigan's running for what, 250 a game. Yeah, so we'll learn a lot. We'll learn a lot about what Nebraska's able to do with its front seven on Saturday. Yep. So that's probably when the proving ground will be found, and I'm sure Michigan will try to run the ball.
Sam, we'll let you go. Appreciate it as always. Thanks for dropping by, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care, sir. Sam
McKeown from the Omaha World Herald. So I'll be curious to see with what Underwood has shown now, which part of him they decide to pick at. I feel like this is maybe the earliest we've ever gotten into like keys of the game and actually talk about the game. For the record, I love it. This is what it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be talking about, would we what did we do last week? Does it actually mean anything? And all this stuff. Like, when it's a big game week, you talk about the big game opponent. Nebraska is a big game opponent coming up this weekend. So I'm super excited to just like dissect all this stuff this week. We haven't dissected a game yet, right? So we're gonna care about.
We really haven't.
We're gonna care about what they do, right? Like these last two, certainly you don't care about what they do. And for Cincinnati, it was just hard to tell.
Yeah,
because it was the first.
We didn't know, and it's more fun to talk about. Ooh, what's it going to look like? What are they going to do?
So which side of him? The first two games they didn't run him like purposefully, intentionally, and then they did, and it was good, right? So Michigan is also going through this sort of identity shift, this type of thing where they're still going to be what they are, big, strong, physical, Big Ten football. That's their mindset. That's the way they want to do it. But when JJ was their quarterback, who I'm watching fumble on NFL Network right now.
Yikes!
It was he's the point guard. He's the distributor, and if we have to go ask him to make plays, then he's certainly capable of doing that as well. I think what they're going into with this guy, with what they have, they owe it to him to put it on his shoulders. And I think they're figuring it out now. They're like, he's got a cannon arm. He can make all the throws, and he can maybe get me, 50, 60 yards in the ground too. And he's tough and he's physical and he can hold up to it. Yeah. I think more Scott Frost, Adrian Martinez. And I know that didn't work out very well, but that's what he was the star of the show. He was the guy on offense. And, Michigan, their back isn't quite as good as he usually is. And their wide receiver core probably isn't as good as they usually are, although there's one guy. I think they're just going to put a lot on him.
For what it's worth,
yeah.
Biff Poggi at the presser today said he has the green light to run against Nebraska.
Oh, yeah. He's going to. That's going to be their thing now. So what this really is, and we'll talk about this throughout the week, I think the proper billing for this game, if you're doing a TV open or something like that, I think the story is quarterback versus quarterback. I think they'll probably make a lot out of Sherrill Moore and him not being there and Biff Poggi and Matt Rhule's year 3. I think after this game, we'll be talking about quarterback and quarterback. These guys are stars, and the game's going to be on both of them.
Would love for Nebraska to be in one of those games.
I think people would talk about it a little bit. So, I can't wait to talk about this game this week. I'm so excited. Let's take a break. We can talk about other games with whatever games you want to talk about. Bad Takes Doug is waiting on the line, so we'll get to him when we come back on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. So I got an idea for the way I want to give out these. We got Valas that we got to give away this week. We also have Steve-O tickets. Did you know Steve-O is coming to the Astro in December?
Steve-O
Yeah,
at the
Steve-O.
Astro in December?
Yes, Steve-O. You know Steve-O?
Is he going to eat the goldfish?
Steve-O from Jackass. That's him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got tickets. So
What kind of show is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I do not know. It is called the Crash and Burn Tour.
Okay.
So I get a fun way to give these out. So stay tuned. But let's take a phone call on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Here is Doug. Bad Takes Doug. What's up?
Hey, guys. Hey, big shout out to Crawford, right? He made all of Nebraska proud with his big win on Saturday night, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. So, shout out to Nate Borkature, Aurora, Nebraska native, who left higher than anybody with a fake gold-colored helmet in the end zone to secure the winning touchdown to knock the Domers down to 2 losses. Shout out to Nate Borkature, a former Husker, by the way.
Yes.
And hopefully we don't have to hear about the Domers the rest of the season because they're one loss away from contractually not being allowed to be in the playoffs. So go Nate Borkature.
Okay. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate the call. Go, Mr. Borica. Did you see a bunch of people fall for the Brett McMurphy, they're going to join the Big Ten tweet over the weekend?
Yes, I did.
I'm pretty sure that was a joke, guys.
We need to...
Did he have to delete that because so many people were like, oh my God, breaking news? Let's see. Let's go back. But
I get we all want to, report the news.
They're all conference realignment pilled.
But y'all got to take a step back and read
Just
the
read
things you're tweeting.
Okay, here we go. Sources: Notre Dame promises to join Big Ten or SEC immediately if either league can convince college football playoff to expand to 16 teams this season. It's not even that funny.
It's not that funny,
It's
which is probably why people thought, oh, this must be real because it's not funny.
How much? I mean, what's your guys' deal with Notre Dame? I don't hate Notre Dame like you guys do. I don't know.
When I was growing up, I did, and I don't know what happened. I don't anymore. I'm relatively indifferent towards them.
We talked about it on Friday, but this was this is basically a big meteor game for me, the Texas A&M Notre Dame game. But what made it a not big meteor game was that Mr. Borica caught the touchdown in the end zone. So that was what made it a non-big meteor game for me. I like that. But I didn't really care about Notre Dame losing. I don't have a problem with Notre Dame.
Now, last year being the difference, but I was tired of them getting obliterated in games that mattered.
Yeah,
like in the
but
playoff.
that didn't happen last year.
It didn't.
But now they are 0-2. They've lost to Miami and Texas A&M.
Yeah,
and they didn't even have a game in between. They didn't even beat up on some tomato can before that. They just lost again, so they're 0-2.
Oh no.
But they do play Purdue this Saturday. How do you think USC liked their trip out to Purdue with their million-hour rain and lightning situation?
Yeah, that could not have been a fun time.
I don't have a problem with Notre Dame. I like the trash talk, though. I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm cool with the trash talk of the Domers. I mean, that's fine. Whatever you're gonna do.
Yeah, people like it.
But I
facilitate.
I certainly wasn't happy that Texas A&M won.
Yeah,
I wasn't like, "Yay, go Aggies,
go Trev!"
But I was excited for Borica. Nate Borkature is his actual name. Travis says this: "Love that Nate had a big catch, but absolutely despise that it resulted in a Texas A&M win." That's kind of where I'm at. I don't know who I prefer, one over the other, Texas A&M and Notre Dame, but I was happy that Borica caught it. That's for sure. Kenneth, who is a Notre Dame fan, has a comment.
Oh, hi, Kenneth.
Football season is over. Time for Blue Jay basketball.
Whoa, another on your side.
You're starting to hear this.
Basketball is better than football.
You're starting to hear this more and more. As the college football teams are slowly but surely eliminated from the college football playoff, you will start to hear more people saying, go basketball. Just as we see college football coaches starting to get fired. I like this recent trend of a batch of coaches getting fired right after non-con play.
Oh, wow.
What?
Just, it was so quick.
I know. Yeah. Well, I think, I don't know why exactly it's the trend. I mean, there are real reasons, as in you can't lose to
Old Dominion
in New Mexico that way.
I think you can lose to New Mexico as long as you beat somebody else along the way.
Right. It's a bit of a problem. But so there's that. But now what happens to those players is they can just go into the portal just right now. And
Nico can go in the portal
and not lose a year of eligibility because he hasn't played 4 games yet.
If he would like to.
So he has to make a decision, before, well, likely before they play another game, but certainly after they play their 4th game. So theoretically, let's take a look.
Yeah.
So theoretically, Nico Yamaliava, no reason why we put him under in this category other than he likes transferring, it seems like.
Well, we went to UCLA for his family.
So they've played 3. They have a bye week this week, and then they play at Northwestern. He could play that game at Northwestern, play at the lacrosse field, and then right before they play Penn State, we'll still be in the 30-day window for the transfer portal. He can leave, jump into the transfer portal, obviously won't play anywhere the rest of this year, but show up somewhere next year and not have any part of this year ever happen. Now, whatever his NIL deal is, I don't know. There might be a stipulation in there that he has to chill out, but yes, the portal is open for UCLA football players and Virginia Tech football players right now. If anybody, I don't know what it is. There's got to be something in there with this trend of coaches getting fired at the end of September or in the middle of September. Scott Frost, he was once a victim of this.
He was. People forget.
He got fired. Brett Pry and Deshaun Foster got fired at the Scott Frost time.
And now Scott Frost takes on Bill Belichick this weekend.
That's right. Kenneth.
Hi, Kenneth.
Follows up. He says they're going to go 8-4 and enjoy their first trip to the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Notre Dame and the Pop-Tarts Bowl, a college football match made in heaven. People really enjoy that.
Notre Dame's still ranked, right?
Yes, I believe they were.
The first 0-2 team to be ranked
also,
since
people,
I don't know when.
People were bothered about Nebraska losing votes each week in the AP Top 25, even as they've destroyed the teams in front of them over the last 2. I don't know what to tell you. If they beat Michigan, they'll probably be ranked or they'll be very, very close to it. It'll take care of itself.
Yeah.
That would be my advice to you all. But, you could take that or leave that. Yeah, Chris writes in on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Hi, Chris.
0-2 and still rated in the top 25? How the bleep can anyone justify this? People love getting mad about the polls these days. And we're not talking about our poll questions. We're talking about the AP poll.
People are very happy with our poll questions.
They love our poll questions. Do we have any up today, by the way?
Is there something about Warren Pence?
Is there something about Warren Pence? Is our one poll question.
That's what we got right now, okay?
Very, very,
We're sportsy on a Monday.
Very excited for this. Okay. So elsewhere, Rhule mentioned this at the end of his press conference and did an Australian accent.
He did.
Did we love getting Archie in the game? I don't think people noticed. That was the problem. Because you put Archie in the game so people could give him a standing ovation.
Yeah, that was what we were.
This goes all the way back to Mitch Sherman makes Archie Wilson cry gate.
Yes,
about a month ago. So we wanted to put him in the game just to show him off, and they did. But I don't think anybody actually noticed that he was in the game, mostly because there was 80 people in the stadium, and if you were watching on TV, you definitely weren't watching anymore. But they put him in. Marcos Davila was the quarterback at the time, and apparently Matt Rhule, according to him, says to Archie, he says, go out there and just stand there. And then Archie followed up with, just stand there. And then he did stand there. And then he gave a cool clap at the end, according to Matt Rhule. But yes, you have now seen Archie Wilson in a red uniform for the very first time. And red pants. This week, you'll see him in a red uniform and white pants.
Ooh.
I can confirm Nebraska will be wearing regular uniforms this week.
Regular.
Actually, I can't confirm that, but there's no way they're not, right? Matt Rhule is a huge traditionalist.
I would think Nebraska, Michigan, you break out the traditionals, right?
They wore
the classics.
They wore some goofy ones. Didn't Michigan wear some goofy ones against Nebraska once? They went through a run where they had some real terrible uniforms, and I think that was with when they were with Adidas.
Well,
because they were Adidas for the better part of the last decade before Harbaugh took over, and then they became like the Jordan brand.
Jordan.
So they've had some bad ones in the past. Nebraska is obviously, they've had their fair share of horrible uniforms as well.
Oh, have they?
Also, a reminder before we go here one more time. Get to the. I can't tell you if Bud is going to be there or not, but if you're going to the volleyball game tomorrow, leave yourself some time. Downtown Omaha is under significant construction at the moment. So that's
just a couple extra minutes.
The other thing I wanted to draw. No, more than that.
A lot of time.
More than that. Eric in Milwaukee writes in on Archie.
Hello, Eric.
Why didn't UNL punt on second and third down to get Archie some punts when his parents were here? Wouldn't have affected the outcome. Because points. Your points per drive will not go up when you punt.
That's right. Punting is winning.
It's about being, it's about winning, but it's also about being good in stats.
That's right.
I love when stuff looks good for stats. Like if you're playing college football, the video game, Josh, and you're playing FCS Northwest or something like that, and you're Texas. If you don't go up 14-0 on those first two possessions, you're quitting.
Yeah.
That's basically what Nebraska did the last 2 weeks. They're stat padding games.
Trying to get you guys looked at.
They're absolutely stat padding.
Not here for punting.
Okay, so here's my idea. We go to a callback from earlier in the show. Do we want to do, question for you, Josh, do we want to do Steve-O or do we want to do Vallis? Or do we want to do the choice thing again?
Let's do Steve-O.
All right, Steve-O. So we got Steve-O tickets. Steve-O is at the Astro, formerly known. No, I actually don't know what the Astro is. It's one of our great venues around town.
We have many.
Saturday, December 13th for the Crash and Burn tour. So this is a callback from earlier in the show. You just have to be the first person to tell Josh the answer to this question. So I would line up right now, 402-951-1620. You get you some Steve-O tickets. You just have to be the first person to correctly answer this question. I'm going to the bowling alley. And here's what I've done. Strike, strike, strike. 9, spare, 9, gutter ball. So I'm through 5 frames. All right, I'm going to repeat it again. I'm through 5 frames. Strike, strike, strike. 9, spare, 9, gutter ball. 0. What's my points? How many points do I have? Since you guys are so smart. Josh, do you know the answer to the question?
No. You lost me.
Strike, strike, strike. 9, spare, 9, gutter ball. How many points do I have? This is for Steve-O tickets.
All right.
This is huge. You be the first person to tell Josh the answer. 402-951-1620. We'll get you to Steve-O. And we'll be back with the polls and tell you what to watch after this on 1620 The Zone. Also forgot to shout out Joe Burrow's toe. He's going to be out for a few months, sadly. Also, J.J. McCarthy. They are apparently, according to ESPN just now, not anticipating having him this week because of an ankle sprain, and that would make Carson Wentz the Minnesota Vikings starter this week.
Oh, so many of you were calling for him to play in week 1. Now you'll get your wish.
I do love me some Carson Wentz. By the way, strike, 9 spare, 9-0. That's 5 frames.
Mm-hmm.
That is 107. That is 107.
107.
And we have all the information necessary to calculate your score at that period of time. It is a flat, real 107.
Congrats to James and Plattsmouth.
Way to go, James. Nice job. We might just ask you bowling score questions this week.
Nobody's doing it that way. That's for sure.
No. We are a very unique radio show, Josh. One poll question. Is there something about worn pants? There's just something about them. That's what Dylon would say. 75% say yes. There's just something about worn pants.
Good call, audience.
Those are the polls, Josh. What are we watching tonight?
We are watching a Monday Night Football doubleheader tonight. It's a true doubleheader. It is not one of those weirdo, hey, 2 games are on at the same time type of things. Bucks, Texans, 6 o'clock on ABC and ESPN, followed by Chargers, Raiders at 9 o'clock on just ESPN. Also during that game, before that game, Tom Brady is teasing an announcement of some kind. It cannot be anything significant.
I can't wait.
But I can't wait to laugh at this. Is it really? Both those games will be right here on 1620 The Zone.
Is the Manning cast on tonight, Ben?
No, it is not.
Taking a break.
Baseball on your TVs. Cubs, Pirates, 5:40 on MLB Network, followed by Phillies, Dodgers, 7 o'clock tonight on Big Fox. The season 5 premiere of Name That Tune. Modern Family vets Jesse Tyler Ferguson and Ariel Winter face off.
Okay.
And then on Hulu, the season 13 premiere of Futurama. All 10 episodes.
Whoa.
Bender is rampaging
What
out of
year
control.
is this?
Great question. While a volcano is about to explode, Fry confronts a rival for Leela's love. Did you know Futurama was still on the air?
No.
Neither did I.
By the way, the Viking, I didn't know this. The Vikings and the Bengals are playing each other this week.
Oh, wow. That's really weird.
So Jake Brown and Carson Wentz with both Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase as their wide receivers as well. So excited to see how many jet sweeps both these teams run.
Oh,
we got to get the ball in those guys' hands.
So many shots of them looking pissy on the sideline.
Yeah. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
So we're watching tonight. That's the show. If you miss anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. The afternoon crossover is coming up next.